Hello, welcome once again to the Lost Art of Podcasting. I'm your host, Coxy, joined as always by no one. That's right, I'm once again here by myself. This could be like Podlet 3 or Podlet 1.6, I can't remember what I called them. But yeah, I'm here by myself, just having a chat with you, the listener. So hopefully you don't get too bored. Well, hold on, it seems I'm having a bit of technical difficulty.
We're taking over! The Shack Masters! Welcome to Podcast is Bunkell!
Who the fuck are you?
I'm King Bunkell.
You're King Bunkell?
King of the Bunkels.
Well, can you untie me from this chair now?
Yeah, if you want.
Hashtag takeover.
It's not rapey.
Sorry, it says. There's I can see a spade and a bag of lime on the floor. Hello, mate.
Hello, how are we doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Aye, not too bad, not too bad. Long overdue.
It is. So, essentially, this is the Lost Art of Podcasting. It is a takeover episode, essentially, of. A few people did message me in concern, essentially asking what was going on. My only reply really was, is it a work or is it a shoot?
It's a work, but he's not doing the JLB.
You're lucky I nearly threw the BWO music in and had Steve Richards with that, we're taking over, and I thought, I'm going to get sued for this.
Yeah.
But no, there was concern, but the problem was there was hints in the thing, but then you had to know who you are to get the hints.
Oh, yeah, well,
like the takeover picture.
Yeah.
Because like you were a fan of Def Jam
Oh, yeah.
New York or whatever.
I still own that game. I still play it on my PS2 now.
Yours still works.
It's the best fighting game ever made, and yes, I still have the old fat PS2 that was supposed to break after 6 months. Boom.
That was a PS3. Yours, it meant to last about 3 years, whereas I went through about 4, and you still got 1.
Yeah. I see you see, I was about to say my consoles don't break, but Xbox 360, fuck you.
I remember that one. But yeah, so for those at home, essentially, I don't know, myself and James have been friends for about 17 years now.
How old are we now? 28.
28.
So yeah, 17 years, 11. Yeah.
Miss Elliott's class in English in year 7.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, first meeting. Fucking hell.
We'll go over some stats. Is that right? Mankind was your champion. There was 2 No Mercy pay-per-views. There was a Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view. Oh. Beyond the Mat was a film. Take us there.
Take us there.
I'm joking, I just wanted to do that.
Safe to say, Beyond the Mat was alright. It was Raisy's Rumble was out then.
2000 Rumble came. No, yeah, late 99. Well, no. Yeah, it came out in 99 in America.
Yeah.
It didn't come out over here. It was one of them you had to... It came out on front row if you had Telewest cable.
Oh, no, I didn't have cable. I had Sky. I had no cable. But I remember watching it, like, back then.
It might have been on Sky Movies then, possibly. Or I had it, maybe.
It sucked anyway.
It was funny. I thought it was funny at the time.
Oh, yeah, well, he's an 11-year-old. But if you watched it recently...
I haven't watched it recently.
Yeah, don't. Simply put.
Well, no, because I remember I saw it twice in the cinema when I was in America, and then I think it came on because Telewest before it was pay-per-view.
You paid to watch that twice in the cinema?
It was like $4 or something.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that works out over here, doesn't it?
And you got free refills on popcorn and drinks.
Fuck off.
None of it's paying £4 for a second drink or whatever.
Hey, that paid our wages at one point.
It did. Mine for 4.5 years, yours for 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was more than 6 weeks, it was like 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
In the best job ever, ripping tickets.
And you left it.
And, yeah, well, because it didn't pay me any money.
But you accomplished your lifelong dream.
I did.
So you can die a happy man.
I can. I'm hoping that one day I earn enough money so I can go back and do it. And having as little responsibility as possible is amazing.
That it is. But yeah, it was... Ready to Rumble. It was on Telewest before it became Virgin or whatever it was. They had Front Row, which is their pay-per-view thing, so you could rent movies and watch them. And then also tape them.
Oh, fair enough. So I didn't have that. I literally... Day I met you, got Sky when I got home that evening.
Yeah. And I remember it was a Tuesday we had Elliot. It was like the shift.
It may well have been.
It was.
I've drank a lot.
So have I.
Since then.
No, we had Dearden Mondays, and then we had Elliot Tuesdays, and
yes.
we had Dearden again Thursdays.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, I remember now. Oh, yeah, because there was fucking Tuesday lessons. That was the one where you had to read a book, wasn't it? And it took me an academic year to read the second Harry Potter book because it fucking sucked.
It was essentially more just like her just sitting there chatting and like, you meant to make notes about this. Here's your free Pepsi book, and no one made notes. I think me and you just drew in them, and you ripped yours apart at some point.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that notion. The thing, going back to, obviously, me and Coxy went to school together, but the thing with teaching and learning and stuff like that is, if your teacher does not inspire you, you will not do the work. You just won't.
That is true.
Just let them do whatever they want. Like, I remember fucking German class. Don't get me started on German. That can fuck off. And unfortunately, because I was relatively bright, I was always in like the middle set for German because I never tried, so I would never get in set one. Oh, so that he's not doing 2 languages. I would have told him to stick it if they tried to. And you sit there and like 1 minute you'd have a half decent teacher, the next fucking day, because he's had a mental breakdown, because everybody had a mental breakdown, you get a brand new one who's almost a sub, can't really talk German, and then they try and make you do work, and it's like, right, no. And then I remember I got sent out for sitting on a stool and not a chair, when the stool was in my seat anyway. So I got sent out for that. I got sent out for sitting on a chair on a table because she told me to sit on a chair. So I put the chair on the table and sat on it. I got sent out for that. But the thing is, they send you out and they think, oh, he's going to go do some work out there. He's being punished. No. Everybody Skypes German, so there's always at least one person wandering around who you just end up having a chat with anyway. And they just go and hide in the toilet.
Yeah, you just hope a teacher won't come past and go, oh, so why have you been kicked out your lesson? Because I sat on the chair.
Yeah, I actually did that. Why, you've been kicked out? Because I sat on the chair. Right, I'm going to go talk to the teacher. All right, okay. So drags her out of the class, which means the other 30 kids are like, whoa, no teacher for 10 minutes, and do fuck all except for the one dickhead who thinks that it's really important to do German.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, you're not going to prom. Well, I wasn't going to prom anyway. It's something I have to pay for, so how can you ban me from paying for something? I'm not wasting my money.
I'm not going somewhere I have to wear a suit and can't drink.
Yeah, exactly. I'm 16. Why would I go? For what reason would I want to go to this damn thing? What do you mean? I'm sorry. Speak, teacher. I'm 16. Tell me off. Try again.
I remember like...
And I was a good kid.
I remember it was like year 9 that we had like 3 or 4 different English teachers at one point.
Year 9. Was that the year that we had... No, we had Cook in 10 and 11,
didn't we? We had Cook 10 and 11. 9, we had that teacher who took our books and buggered off. Then we got that sub who was in for like a few months.
Was that the year with the sweaty guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Davis or Davies.
Yeah, I remember that guy. Was he the one who... He wasn't the one who took the books, was he?
No, that was a woman, female teacher.
Yeah, that again. But this is the problem with education at the moment. It's, something like that happens, people lose interest. Children especially lose interest, so then they don't learn. And then you end up with some of the thickos you see out there. Some of us are just naturally intelligent, so we get away with it.
I think it's changed a lot, though, since we since we went to school. It's all that stuff like there's bloody. I read about free iPads and all that sort of stuff now. Like, considering we were probably learning on Windows 98 or whatever at the time, they're probably on like fucking Windows 10 now with their own cloud storage and all sorts.
Oh, I mean,
and we had what was it? The bloody intranet.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, my kids now who go to school. I say my kids. They have their own iPad.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? It's like, oh yeah, well, we weren't like, I don't know. It's like you go and speak to the teacher. It's like, oh no, they're doing really, really good, but we're thinking like we're going to take the iPad off them because we think this other kid needs it more. And I was like, all right, okay. Well, why does this other kid need it more? Oh, because his writing's not very good. Well, why would you give him an iPad?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so he can type it. But the kid can't write.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he needs to type. Surely that's not solving the problem. That's just sweeping under the rug. But there you go. I don't know how we got into education.
We've just been off on a tangent, mate. I partially expected it in a way. To
be fair, this is what I know you're relatively prone at doing it, but I am awful. Like I can go off so far on a tangent, I forget what the subject was.
It's fine. That's podcasting for you.
Well, yeah, I suppose. I say this is supposed to be a wrestling show.
It is. Because I even did you a special intro.
Exactly.
But yeah, so getting back on topic. So you got home from school and you had Sky installed.
Yeah. Sky installed. I think it was the Saturday after. So that would have been the Tuesday. Saturday after was when I first started watching wrestling. So it was what? Year 2000. So I've just like coming in at like the end of the Attitude Era, really.
Towards, about halfway through.
Like Stone Cold's kind of almost had his day, really.
Yeah. Like
all these like big headline every single pay-per-view kind of thing. That's like dying down. Like I've if I remember correctly, I've missed the beer truck.
Yeah.
By that point,
98, I think, possibly, or early 99.
And The Rock was just starting to take off because if I remember correctly,
well, SmackDown debuted in 99.
Yeah.
I think that was November. I think.
Yeah, because that was the higher power thing, wasn't it? And it turned out to be Vince, and it made no fucking sense.
It's me, Austin.
Yeah, it was me all along. Great, but the Rock was champion when I remember turning it on, and I remember my dad watching it with me once.
Do you remember what month it was? Because that can sort of yeah.
Well, it will have been September because we just started school, haven't we?
It was sort of for 99 essentially going into 99. You had Mankind as champ, then you had The Rock, and I think something like The Rock had it for a day or two, lost it again to Mankind. No, yeah, Rock won it at the Rumble. Mankind won it. No, he didn't. It was before the Rumble. Mankind won it. 2 days later, lost it to The Rock. That was the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. It's
he
because
lost it at the Rumble.
Yeah,
and then Austin won it twice that year.
Yeah, isn't that's something to do with? Oh no, I'm thinking of later on when Austin wouldn't do the job to Triple H.
Yeah, but this was around the time when there was title changes every like 2 months. Months. No one was a long reigning champion at any point.
But again, you have to think about it this way. I mean, like nowadays, you tend to get more of a long reigning champion nowadays.
Yeah.
But that stems from the way the business is. The way the business was then, you had Austin and you had The Rock, and both of them are mega stars. So you have to everybody in between is a paper champion. It's to take the belt from one and put it on the other. Austin won't do the job because it's well documented how paranoid he was about paranoid might be the wrong word, but he was very afraid of losing his spot. He was very scared of doing the job because he was thinking he was getting replaced. We know whenever it was he was supposed to do the job to Lesnar. I think it was 2002.
Roughly, yeah.
Something like that. Supposed to do the job to Lesnar. No, take my ball, going home, not doing the job. Because I don't want to lose that spot. I don't want to lose what I've built. And I understand that because he came from WCW where he never was given the opportunity, and everything that he put forward and got over, they just then went, we're just going to scrap it. Yeah. And and then he gets injured and they sack him. And that's going to make you paranoid. You're going to think, oh shit, my job could go at any point. It's the same.
It's always to say it's sort of protecting your spot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could even apply it to general life nowadays. If you keep going into roles and keep getting made redundant, you're gonna think in your next job, I'm gonna get made redundant. Yeah. And if like something like that gets mentioned, you're gonna start to panic. Yeah. I totally get where he's coming from, but you had to. If he wanted to do the job, then you had to move the belt somehow. Yeah. So, I get it. I do. But I remember The Rock being champ, and I remember my dad coming in and watching it, and for some reason The Rock was his favourite, probably because he was arrogant. Yeah. I mean, there's only a couple of comments I remember my dad saying about wrestling. One was that he wouldn't mind meeting China in a back alley. Which is... which I was just like, oh dear.
The cable tie isn't a bad coming to this.
No. It's more that, like, the commentators would always point out, like, I wouldn't like to run into China. She looks like a dude, or like, she'd rip a man apart. And my dad was like, nah, give it
a go. You had WrestleMania 15 that year was Rock Austin with Mankind as the referee. Yeah. With the subtitle of The Raging Climax.
That says it all, really. But yeah, back to the point was, I remember The Rock he won a match at the end of a SmackDown, the main event of a SmackDown show, and then heels come out, beat him down, leave him laying, celebrate, leave, and it was just like, why? And my dad was just like, it's just shit, really, because this is all that's going to happen, and then you're going to go to the pay-per-view and The Rock's going to win, and it's like, don't ruin this for me. I'm 11. Yeah, right. I don't understand, the full ins and outs of this. You can sit there and tell me it's scripted, fine, but I'm not saying it's real to me. I'm saying it's. I'm saying I appreciate the athletic ability and the storytelling. It's a story. Yeah. And I want, it's like reading a book. If you're not invested in the story, you're not going to read it. If I'm not invested in watching wrestling, I'm not going to watch it. Yeah, I need a character to engage me.
There was Mike Quackenbush, who runs Chikara.
Oh yeah,
sort of covered this on YouTube. It was like a TED talk, but it wasn't a TED talk.
Right.
When he's sort of saying, well, it's wrestling for me was an escape. He's like, I like the comic book storylines. Is like, I like colourful characters, I like heroes and villains, all that sort of thing. And he's like, but there's one guy, it's like a lot of people say that pro wrestling is fake. He just goes, sorry, but it is. But then he goes on this diatribe. He just sort of sat there. It's like, I said to my mate, I was like, anyone says to me like, isn't wrestling fake? I'm just going to give him that YouTube link and say, right, watch this. This is why I watch it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like you say, it is. It's no different to
sort of like a comic book come to life. Reference.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's larger than life characters. At least, especially during the Attitude Era, it's larger than life characters doing things that you can't do that you would want to. Yeah. Think of Stone Cold Steve Austin consistently beating Vince McMahon up, consistently getting one over on him. Why would Vince McMahon keep this man employed? Yeah, if you did that in your work day, there is absolutely no way on earth you'd have a job at the end of the day. Yeah. If I walked up to my boss and I started punching him, I handcuffed him and then held a gun to his head in front of everybody in the office, there is no way on earth I'd have a job at the end of that day. Yeah. I'd be in jail. Even if the gun was fake and he wet himself, I'd still be in jail. But again, because it's so larger than life, it's something that you, like 90% of people hate their jobs. If you would want to do something like that, it makes you believe that, oh look, I can see him doing it, so therefore I feel the disconnect from my real life.
There was on the forums back in the day before like Facebook and MySpace and stuff. There was forums of like people. Is like one of the first topics you always see is like how many people wish they could do like they could do to their boss what Steve Austin does to VKM. Sort of thing. There's always people like I'd like to, but I couldn't get away with it. And it's like, well, evidently, but if you could, you probably would if you hated him.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's it's again, it's not the. Oh, if you could do it, would you? It's like, yeah, but I know I can't get away with it. That's not what they're trying to say. It's, would you want to do it? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, at the moment, quite enjoy my job. To an extent, I quite like my bosses. So I probably wouldn't want to do that now, but everybody's been in a job where they hate their boss. Yeah. I mean, I know you when you were working at Cuba.
What? Previous episode reference.
You hated your boss at that time, and to be honest, she was a bitch. But would you say that you wouldn't want to do something like that to her? You wouldn't want to walk up and just like, I'm just going to put her through a car window. I'm gonna like, what was it?
I'm gonna run her over and say, "Do it for the people."
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we'll get onto that freaking storyline. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell.
I'm going to turn up with like a milk truck and just spray her with milk.
Well, exactly. Though I probably wouldn't use the milk because nowadays everyone would think it was cool.
Alright, I'll turn up with a beer truck and go, "This is what you brought done to me."
But yeah, so... it's getting it's feeling emotionally invested in the story. Again, if we move on to like how even wrestling's changed. Back in those days, that's what it was all about. It's about these big, large than life characters, and they're still trying to portray that now. I feel. I'll be openly honest. I don't keep up to date with wrestling as I should do.
Yeah.
I read a lot of results. I see the odd video, pops up, but I don't watch it week in, week out because I don't believe there are these characters nowadays. There is no, everybody is, I'm a babyface or I'm a heel for this reason. Yeah. And it's like...
Well, it's not so much that nowadays.
They're just going after the it's titles, really. It's more about the titles than anything. It's, well, I'm a heel because the champion is a face. So I'm going to be a heel now. And they just... swap and change so often, I feel.
Alicia Fox.
Oh, God. She shouldn't even have a job.
No, it's that thing like a lot of people nowadays are like, well, the belt's just a prop. It doesn't elevate anyone. It's just a prop. But it's moved away. WWE, for instance, it's moved away from just heel and babyface. It's like Roman Reigns on Botchamania now. Shout out to Matthew. There's that thing of like he does a thing. He's like, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy. Like, I'm not babyface. I'm not heel. I'm neutral. Sort of thing. But it's like, well,
he's not neutral though. Again, that is a heel persona. It's almost to try and give him that thing where again, Roman Reigns is always really going to be in the title picture. Yeah, or he's going to be in a title picture. Yeah,
well, he got wellness.
He got wellness?
Yes.
Recently?
Yes.
Oh, I've not seen that. Is he gone? Oh, did he come back though?
He's had his suspension, 30-day.
Yeah, and he's come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, is he not still facing Rusev though?
Essentially, he had the bet. He's a 2 or 3 time champion now or something already.
How?
He got wellness. I think was it after SummerSlam or before one of the pay-per-views. He lost the belt and then he got wellness the day after from 30 days. And VKM, like Vinnie Mac, saw him as the top guy.
Yeah.
And he sort of, that wellness sort of took him off the radar. And now it's like, well, Finn Balor, shit, he's injured. Panic mode.
Yeah. No, the thing is, you can see they panicked. I'm not saying I disagree with putting the belt on Kevin Owens. I think it's a great idea. I watched the end of that match and I thought, there is no way on earth they're going to put the belt on Kevin Owens. They're just not going to do it. They don't have the balls to do it because he doesn't have. I personally, I think he's great. Having seen the man live, I think he's great. I'll come on to that in a minute, but he doesn't have the stereotypical look that Vinnie Mac goes for. He doesn't have the stereotypical athleticism and even look that Triple H tends to go for. You look at the guys.
He's got the athleticism, I think.
Yeah, but he doesn't give that off. You look at Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
You look at that man and you think, damn, that guy can do some shit.
Yeah. I think that's part of the appeal of Kevin Owens for me, though. It's like, you look at him, it's like, well, he's just some sort of fat guy who looks like he's a guy from the crowd who they just sort of picked out and put a shirt on and go, right, you're going to be champion now. And then you see him do a standing senton or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You see him do the cannonball.
That's what I mean. He is athletic. He's more athletic than he would appear. But I mean, that's what I'm saying.
We'll go back 10 years,
yeah,
and he wouldn't have even been considered.
No, that's exactly. Vinnie Mac and Triple H have the pair of them. Triple H is a bit better than Vinnie Mac. Have the stereotypical thing they're looking for is a look. That's why Roman Reigns, as you've just mentioned, was pushed so heavily.
Yeah,
Roman Reigns has about as much charisma as
a block of cheese.
Yeah, yeah. A block of cheese.
Giving Roman Reigns credit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is giving him credit. I'd hesitate to add to that it'll be some kind of light, mild cheese that's basically, it's not even cheese, it's fake cheese. But he has the look that Vinnie Mac wanted, so he gets pushed to the moon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this man, he was put in a main event with fucking Brock Lesnar, for fuck's sake, at WrestleMania. And though he didn't win, oh my God, he didn't win. No. I remember it correctly then. They still attempted to make him look strong, which is stupid. But there we go. They've done some stupid things with Brock Lesnar. But back onto Kevin Owens. I mean, I say that's what was surprising to me. I thought Seth Rollins was going to win this all day because he's Triple H's guy, which I didn't expect. He did swerve me. I'll be fair. Yeah. He did swerve me. But he has everything that Triple H looks for. And definitely glad they put it on Kevin Owens. Seen him live. I remember when he made his debut on NXT, and he attacked Sami Zayn. Yeah, and he did that powerbomb onto the edge of the ring, like the ring apron. I've seen that with less than 3 feet away from us, haven't we? And fuck me, I nearly peed. It looked like it hurt that much. Fucking hell. Chris Travis, God rest his soul, is a fucking legend for taking that bump. Sami Zayn's a legend for taking that bump because it immediately put Kevin Owens over. That one instant, and it looks completely devastating. I'm guessing it's a relatively safe bump to take.
It must be, otherwise people won't be doing it. But they always say the actual edge of the ring is the hardest bit. Of
I don't doubt that it's the hardest bit, but it's like they all know how to break fall. Yeah. Having, doing a little bit of like martial arts, I know, as we do, we know how to break fall, and it does work. But there is no way I could tell you that didn't hurt because I know it did. Yeah. In experience, falling on a mat, like I'm not talking like a big soft mat, but falling on like a matted floor like you would have back in school, hurts. And you're doing that on a ring apron, which I know is like a small piece of cloth and then some metal. Yeah. But instantly puts him over. So, I hope they give it him for a while. He should have a long run. But
he did. I read a thing yesterday. It's like he got into the back, and it's like, what happened when Kevin Owens got backstage after his title win? And he's like, he shook Triple H's hand or something, and Vinnie Mac looked at him. He's like, you won't regret this, Vince.
Yeah. Well, I think if they want to keep it on him, they need to make him look strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, the finish was obviously a screw job finish for the title. So everyone's looking at him now and thinking, is it just going to be a paper champ? Is he going to drop it at the next pay-per-view? I don't see him dropping it at the next pay-per-view. He's going to go over.
I reckon he will, yeah.
So
should do.
Yeah, he should go over. Seth Rollins is no stranger to doing the JOB. So why wouldn't he do it to put over his mate?
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing it is his mate.
Well, they came up together.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they need to keep it on him for a while, but I also think his character needed it as well.
Yeah.
I don't think he was quite as over as some other people believe he was. But that's just my personal opinion from what I've seen.
Yeah. So I'm like you. I just read the results. I watch the odd clip on Facebook here and there that they put up, and other than that, so I just watched like the Cruiserweight Classic and NXT.
Oh, you see, the Cruiserweight Classic made me think about getting the network. I'll be honest, but even just for like a month.
Yeah.
Just so I can watch the Cruiserweight Classic because Noam Dar was in it, and Noam Dar, legend. Again, somebody I've seen live before, and I know he's got the talent to do it. And the Cruiserweight, this Cruiserweight Classic, as it's called, is the perfect opportunity for somebody like that.
He is going to Raw,
He's going to Raw?
Mm-hmm. It's his final UK booking on the 24th of September.
Awesome. And I really hope it works out for him, because he's only like in his early 20s.
He's 22, 23.
Fucking hell.
So, but it's like I was saying to someone the other day, I was like, if he goes for like 3 years, comes back, works in Indies for 2 years, then goes back, gets re-signed, he's 28.
Yeah.
Well, 28, 29. He's still got
11,
11, 12 years of prime
more
left.
Yeah, when you think about how old John Cena is.
Yeah.
You think about how old, these guys who are just getting the title point, and think about how old Finn Balor is. He's like in his mid-30s.
Yeah, 34.
He's got so much time's on his side so much, and with that training centre as well, they'll teach him the way they want him to be, which is, if you learn their way and you pick up their way, then there's no reason for them to let you go.
Yeah.
Look at fucking Funaki, how long he stayed around.
Yeah.
Just because he could wrestle their way.
Yeah.
Think about X-Pac, how long he stuck around.
House phone ringing.
Nobody answers the house phone.
It'll probably be a call centre anyway.
I'm guessing you're going to cut this bit.
Yeah.
Hello, your call cannot be taken. Thank you for calling.
Call centre.
There's like this guy like Tajiri, Brian Kendrick.
Yeah.
But these guys like around in like 2004 when the Performance Centre was still probably an idea on paper, if that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's the Performance Centre has helped a lot in terms of getting people.
Well, yeah, I mean,
to that level.
You look at some of the talent that's even just come over in this draft. I mean, I look at American Alpha, and I think that's right?
American Alpha, Gable and Jordan.
Yeah, and okay, I've not seen that much of them, but I just think these are the stereotypical guys again that Vince more than anybody would push. Yeah, they think, oh great, let's push these guys, and they come in.
It was last year though. Sorry to cut you off, but it's when they did NXT in Blackpool last year. Right. I saw someone took a video on the mobile. Yeah. And they were so over. Yeah. It was literally all you heard was like that sort of. There was like one of the super shows with like Ligo and stuff. Where it was like doing D-Lo. They were doing that for Gable and Jordan for about 10 minutes straight.
Fucking hell.
And it's like, if that doesn't prove how over they are, I don't know what will. Yeah,
exactly. But again, like you see guys like that come. Well, you used to see guys like that come up all the time into like they almost come out of nowhere, and then they'd be on the main roster, and they stick a belt on him, and then they disappear after 6 months. And
I think these guys will stick around. I don't want them to do what I think they're going to do at some point and split them up as a tag team. Yeah, I think they really work as a tag team, but they shouldn't. I can see them. Oh well, we call time on it now. It's time to go separate ways, and it'll
like every fucking.
It'll go down like a wet fart sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, almost every time they do that, it ends up like that. Yeah. I think back in the day when they split up Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, right? The world's greatest tag team. And I thought they were excellent as tag team wrestlers. That was the perfect spot for them on the card. Yeah. Come out, decent match, decent pace, little bit of wrestling, little bit high flying. Yeah, fine. Putting a great match every time. Split them up. And where did they end up? Well, Charlie Haas ended up leaving, and then Shelton Benjamin got like a little bit of a push, but it was more of a, well, we just want to make him look ish, but he's going to lose loads because he's really good at selling, and he's quite athletic. Kind of a Dolph Ziggler role.
We need him for Money in the Bank every year, though.
Yeah, exactly. And then he got released. He's just been re-signed, I believe.
He's off for injury. Before they signed him, he got his medical.
Right.
And they found a torn rotator cuff or something that he didn't know he had. So he's off for like 6 months.
Oh, great.
But they're still keen on signing him once he's sorted.
Right. But again, they split that tag team up and it went nowhere.
Yeah.
And half the time it's because people can't get invested in the initial feud between the two members of the tag team, I find. And so it just ends up with like a shitty blow-off match that doesn't mean anything and nobody gives a shit. So then, when they go on to their next feuds, well, nobody cares about these characters.
Yeah.
And
I
so
think with Shelton Benjamin, though, it's like, well, what's his gimmick? Well, he used to be in World's Greatest Tag Team. So what's his gimmick? He's Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Right, what's his gimmick?
We don't have one.
He's Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. We don't have one. And then they came up with the gold standard. Where you give, with his stupid finisher where you give yourself a rock bottom. Yeah, that was smart.
The pay dirt.
Fuck that.
Well, they did that, and then they brought Sheldon's mama into it, which went nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Again, stupid. What they felt as though they needed to make it a daft character to try. Wasn't it
though when he was like the Intercontinental Champion for ages because they didn't put him against anyone or something?
Oh yeah, he never defended the belt. yeah. Fucking stupid. Another version when they fucking split up Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg, and I don't even get me started on New Age Outlaws. I didn't actually like them at the time.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, they weren't my cup of tea. But Billy Gunn is the prime example of somebody who has everything that Vince McMahon is looking for and should be great, but cannot get over.
Yeah,
and again, I think that stemmed from they split that tag team up. And he lost his mouthpiece, so nobody gave a shit. And then he won King of the Ring, and nobody gave a shit. Because, to be fair, other than Austin winning King of the Ring, it's never really mattered. I can't think of any time that it did.
No, not really.
It usually means that you go on then a massive losing streak.
Well, there was
you never recover from.
The thing was, Billy Gunn won King of the Ring. Then he had his thing with The Rock.
Yeah.
Which come out in that Kiss My Ass match or something at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And then he ended up becoming like the one Billy Gunn after Right to Censor took the Mr. Ass off him or something.
Oh yeah, because he got beat.
Beat him for the Mr. Ass name. So he's like, I'm now the one Billy Gunn. But around that time where it's like, right, you're now a heel, so you have to cut your hair. You have to have short hair because you're a heel.
Fuck that shit. But again, later on becomes part of Chuck and Billy, and it was great. It was over again but tag team. Some wrestlers are just meant to be in tag teams, and they should be left alone and left to do that. My personal opinion, but there we go.
Well, I think sometimes it's needed because it's like you're not always like you might not have it as a singles, whereas the other guy. You put someone, well, you're lacking this and this, but this guy's lacking what you have. So we'll put you together and then...
Well, yeah, that's why the New Age Outlaws worked. Road Dogg is lacking in... Well, he doesn't have the look and he doesn't have the fire, so to speak. But he can talk. And he's a great talker and he's a great seller. Billy Gunn can't sell worth a damn. And... he's like Roman Reigns on the mic, except maybe worse. Yeah, can't talk, but has the look. So put them together, and every single match they had, standard formula. Road Dogg gets worked on because he can sell. Makes the hot tag to Billy Gunn because when Billy Gunn's making a hot tag, he's the bigger man and it looks better. Mm-hmm. And then, boom, 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 win. End of match. Road Dogg does his thing on the mic.
Yeah.
Over every time. Simple formula. So, again, why change what works? Again, American Alpha, if they're that over, why change it?
Yeah.
If it's working, don't change it. It's like Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. I know Tyson Kidd got injured, but it was over and it was working. So, I know they won't bring it back to that. But
well, there was one I remember. There was the Ascension in NXT.
Yeah.
And to me, they seemed like quite over and they're ready, and then they just brought them in, and it's like, oh, I'm going to make a joke of you.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, in NXT, they were over. Because I remember watching them on NXT, and they were built up as this force to be reckoned with, so to speak. It wasn't stupid. It didn't look daft. And then they brought them up, and straight away they were like, we're going to job them.
Yeah.
Again, I think another thing with the WWE is cutting on characters so quickly. Like I think of Michael McGillicuddy, and I think when he won,
worst name ever.
It is the worst name ever. But I just think of when he won, when he came out as Curtis Axel, Curtis Hendon, whatever it was, and was it Wade Barrett he pinned and won the Intercontinental title, and he did nothing all match except sell, ran in, pinned him, ran off, and won the title, and he'd been in the match 8 seconds or something like that. And it was oh my God, that is amazing. And I thought, oh, right, push him, do what they did with his dad, really. I'm not saying that he has to be perfect at everything, but just bill him as though he's coming out and he's acting as though he's perfect, but he's not, and he's just winning on flukes. And I think you could have got that over. Yeah, but instead they did that 1 week, and then the next week he was fucking jobbing.
Yeah,
and it was oh great, so you've given up after 8 seconds, or whatever it was.
I think it might have worked better if they did the Damien Sandow, the Great and the New T-shirt.
Yeah,
they gave that to him.
Yeah,
and was I'm going to be right. Give me that. I'm greater than you. I'm greater than you. I'm greater than the announcers. I'll announce myself.
Yeah.
I'm better than my opponent. I'm better than the referee. I'll start counting my own matches.
Well, that's it. No, it's again. It could have got over, and it could have got over, but they seem to cut bait so quickly. Again, I think of another one, Bo Dallas, and I know everybody hates him, right? But when he came in, it was the fluke winning, and then the celebration at the end, running around the ring. I ate that shit up. That is the best heel thing I've seen for a long time. It was just literally everyone loves me. No, everybody hates you, and you are terrible. But please, God, keep doing that. Keep selling it like everybody loves you, because it's brilliant, and telling everybody to believe. And these the vignettes were amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then it lasted 3 weeks, and they were just no.
Oh, he's back on the Believe for character now.
Oh, they brought it back?
Yeah.
I thought, but isn't he a nasty heel now, wearing black?
I think he's wearing black, but then it's sort of I was reading, there's a page I like on Facebook called The Angry Wrestling Vet.
Right.
And he always says, heels should wear dark colours to match your persona. He's don't always wear black.
Yeah.
Just wear dark colours, don't wear white. Because white seems like it's a positive colour.
Yeah, it is a babyface colour.
He's wearing white.
Yeah, but that was the point, because he thought he was a babyface. That's what made it so good. He thought, everyone loves me. No, we hate you. But he was acting like he was the best thing since sliced bread, and he was beating these jobbers by schoolboy pins and shit. And it was just what? Yes, the world title. And he was no, you've beaten R-Truth. With a fucking schoolboy. Come on, man. Brilliant.
I remember getting slightly back onto Kevin Owens. I remember when one of the standout moments for me for Kevin Owens was when he debuted on NXT.
Oh yeah.
Comes out, he's in tears.
Yeah.
Because he's sort of I've made it. But it showed a video. It's either him. His kid was either watching on NXT or watching on when he debuted on Raw and took on Cena. And his kid's there going, "Go on, Dad!" And he's that's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It is. Again, I've seen something quite recently about that, where because I think it was his son posted a picture with the title and stuff like that, and then that guy from ESPN started giving it on Twitter, and I just think that guy should be fired. I'm going to be deadly honest, because you shouldn't be saying stuff like that. And whether you know anything about Kevin Owens' son or not, it's not my place to say. But that's a child who's bought into something.
Yeah.
That's a child who then believes in something, and you're there ripping it on Twitter because you're a dickhead. Yeah, for lack of a better description.
Yeah.
He's a fucking prick, that guy. And I know he's apologised, but it's not enough. You can't go around acting like that. Yeah, you just can't.
Yeah.
So look it up. There's stories about it all over Facebook, but it's not right. It's just not. So, but yeah, I think I watched Kevin Owens' first match in NXT, and he bleed. I think he ended up bleeding accidentally, like in his mouth or his nose or something. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh crap, they're going to kill him now, aren't they? They're just going to like cut whatever push they were thinking, because they're really against the blood stuff nowadays. But I'm glad it didn't. And I'm glad that he's made it now. Essentially,
yeah,
he really has. Again, NXT's don't ever rush to get out of NXT. That's what I'll say. Well, I think it's getting better, but I wouldn't rush, because eventually you'll job to Cena.
Well, I did see a thing the other day, and it was like like Botchamania. It's like friend. It's like, oh, Tyler Black and Kevin Steen are never going to headline a pay-per-view. It's like 2016. And it's like, well, the headline in this one, it's them two at Unforgiven or whatever it's called next, and it's like there's ... shit.
Oh, exactly. But no, I mean, again, I watch. You see things like in wrestling nowadays, like I think like a lot of people, I don't know if it's still going on, a lot of people used to complain about, say, Cesaro, and talk about, oh, well, Vince doesn't, Vince came out and said on the Steve Austin podcast that he's not connecting with the fans and whatnot. I know, so that's quite a while ago now. But I don't think Vince McMahon's stupid. I think that he's looked at a character like that and he's thought, does he need a belt to get over? A belt, to me, is to get you over. Somebody who has the belt needs the belt to be a draw. Yeah, Ultimate Warrior back in the day. Ultimate Warrior was kind of over. Put the Intercontinental title on him, it's quite a bit more over. Ooh, put the world title on him, as well as the Intercontinental title. Ooh, he's even more over. But he's not as over as Hogan was. Is Hogan still a draw? Yeah, but he's not as much of a draw as he was with the title. Yeah. Oh, well, he's dropping it back to Hogan. Oh, wait, no, he won't. Slaughter. Yeah, because he won't do the JOB to Hogan anymore. And Hogan never does JOB. Yeah? So, dropped it to Slaughter. Slaughter versus Hogan. Hogan's going over. Yeah. Simple.
Well, it was you had Slaughter, it was like, right, heel turn, I've joined Iran or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, we've got America versus Iran. It's like, during the fucking Gulf War, whatever it was.
Okay, people eat that shit up, though.
Well, that was back in the day, though, before social media.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have America. It's like, yeah, America!
But, again, I think he's looked at somebody like Cesaro and thought, does he need a belt to be over? No. Because he is over.
One thing I did read yesterday was he thinks Cesaro lacks charisma.
He lacks charisma. Again, it's one of those things, like, people say, the way I look at it is he over with the fans? The answer is yes, really. He's not had a long title run except for when he first started. He was IC champ, was he, or US champ?
IC, I think.
Yeah, for a little while, but he was a heel then, and that never got over. And I'm not saying he's in the same calibre by any stretch of imagination, but he's like you look at the careers of Jake the Snake Roberts and the $1 Million Man. Both massively over. Mm-hmm. Both never held that world title. Yeah. Yeah? Because they didn't need it. And Vince McMahon knew they didn't need it. They'd still be over. Because they were always over. They don't need that extra push that a belt's supposed to give you.
Well, they always say for like Jake the Snake, he had the ring psychology.
Yeah.
$1 Million Man, he had the charisma, and it was also sort of like he's got the wrestling ability.
Yeah.
But he was happy to do the job, sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, if we get on to talking about the 80s, finding people to do the JOB in the 80s is impossible.
Unless you're the Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah.
Job security!
But, like, I think of somebody... Like, if you look at Jake the Snake Roberts, the only criticism I've ever heard is all of his promos are very similar. It's always a very quiet, very calculated promo, essentially.
Yeah.
And trying to do that in front of 60,000 screaming fans is quite difficult. But...
You play 21, I'll play 22.
But, you know, we know where his career ended up. We know what ended up happening to Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
We know what ended up happening
He's
to
got
$1
back
Million
on track
Man.
now, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm aware that he has. There's a documentary on Netflix about him, but I think I've seen it before.
No, this one's a new one.
Oh, this is one of the new one.
Yeah.
I've not seen it then, because I've seen the old one.
Because he moved in with DDP doing DDP Yoga.
Yeah.
And he was like, right, you have to get clean now and all this. And I think DDP produced it, or he's like, he funded it or something. And it's about him getting off the drugs and getting back in, like, he gets him back in touch with his family and stuff like that.
Well, right.
Like the same family in Beyond the Mat, where his daughter's like, fuck you, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
He's like, DDP gets him to reconnect and stuff like that. And apparently it's quite a moving film.
Right. It's something I've been meaning to watch it, I'll be openly honest. But getting my wife to watch a wrestling documentary is an impossibility. But no, so again, it's amazing how wrestling's changed, really.
Yeah, I think there is a lot though, like especially like social media's come into it. You alright? Do you need a shit or?
No, I've pulled my hammy.
Especially like the advent of social media, because like WWE's all over Instagram now and stuff. Like they post pictures of both like opponents before matches. Like, oh, we have Natalia stood backstage, and there's Charlotte also stood backstage. It's like, hopefully not just stood next to each other. And it's like, right, stand with these between you.
Yeah.
But it's sort of, I think that's kind of killed it in a way, because like now more than ever, there's meant to be all these kids that are buying into Cena and. Like now it's Roman Reigns or like Finn Balor is like the top guys like you're meant to buy into. So of course they get all the merch, all the t-shirts, stuff like that. But then, like the other day I was on a bus and there was like a 1-year-old in a pram holding an iPhone watching a cartoon. And it's like the amount of kids nowadays that have iPads and you have access to internet and Facebook and wrestling sites and dirt sheets and stuff where you can see.
Yeah,
the behind the scenes. It's like
it's completely different to when we first started watching it. Like I say, when we first started watching, you started watching a long time before I did. 96. Yeah. So I started watching 99. So it's 3 years different. Yeah. So you will have got like the end of the Survivor Series angle where Austin got run over.
I actually didn't, because I didn't have Sky Sports.
Oh, right. Well.
See, for me, again, I had cable at the time.
Yeah.
I started with Sky, and they used to send you like a big month-sized TV guide. It was like 16 quid. You got it for free as part of your package. But it had the full month in it. So you could plan your month accordingly. But this was before Sky Plus, so you couldn't just tape it all. And I was like flicking through one day, so like, WCW Monday Nitro. I was like, on a Friday on TNT. And it was like 9. I think it was still like 1 hour episodes, or it might have been 2 hour. It was like right 9 to 11 or 8 till 10, something like that. It was like, well, it's Friday night. I was like, can I stay up and watch it? Yeah, it's Friday night. It's fine. And then I sort of started watching it. Went from there. I can't remember the first match I saw or anything like that.
So your first exposure was WCW.
Yes.
Not WWE.
No.
Oh man, I feel bad for you.
At the same time, though,
was that the cool time?
This was when Nitro was like first starting. It might have been 95.
So it was relatively cool.
Yeah, at the time.
Yeah. Before it went shit.
Yeah, I can't remember much about it, but also at the time there was when Sky One had Livewire.
Yes, that's where one of the things I first started watching, Livewire.
Livewire, Shotgun, Superstars, and somewhere else, maybe. Well, it was Livewire 11 till 12 Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday you had Shotgun and Superstars.
Yeah, that was it.
But Livewire, I remember put it on, and you had this Ultimate Dragon, and it was like when they bought some of the Cruiserweights.
Yeah.
Like Cruiserweights Attempt Part 1 or something. Like, attempt 1 at getting Cruiserweights in. And I remember this Ultimate Dragon guy, and I remember seeing, just like showed highlights from Raw, and it was when they had the DX dressed up as the Nation.
Oh, amazing.
It always stood out as like the guy dressed as Owen Hart was like, look at the size of my damn nose! It was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of went from there, but like I'd watch it every week, and it was always like the NWO stuff. And then, of course, SmackDown came around, but then TNT started showing Thunder on Friday night, sometimes after Nitro or on the Saturday night.
Right.
So it'd be like, watch Nitro, get up Saturday, watch SmackDown, wait till Saturday evening, watch Thunder. Sometimes, if I could stay awake.
Yeah.
So I was getting at least like about 5-6 hours a week of wrestling at the time. And then like about 2000-ish, that's when TNT became TCM. Mm-hmm. And Bravo bought the rights to Nitro.
Yeah.
But they weren't showing it often.
Yeah.
It was like, it's here on Friday morning at 1 a.m. when no one's going to watch it.
Yeah. No, I see. I mean, like my first exposure was WWE wrestling.
Yeah.
My WCW exposures were relatively limited to angles and a certain few shows. And I watched Thunder for a little while, but it was as WCW was winding down. Yeah. And
because I remember talking to you about it, I was like, so what do you watch? I was like, what's WCW? Like, really?
Yeah.
Everyone gave me shit for it, and then there was like a few people like, I watched it, it was pretty good. This was like 2000.
Yeah.
And it was shit.
Yeah. Well, again, the thing is, you look at it with rose-tinted glasses almost. Say, it's year 2000 and we're fucking 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
wrestling. I'm half the man you are, and I have half the brain you do. What?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's wrestling is different again because of the way you view it. You know now. I hate the word. Fucking smarks. Now, smart mark.
Smart mark.
Yeah.
What's a smart mark? A mark with a high IQ.
But no, I don't like the word because it's not what people are. It's people perceive smart mark as something that exists. I don't think it is. It's again. You know all the backstory. You know how wrestling works because Vince McMahon decided. You know what? I'm going to tell everybody it's a show. It's fake. Yeah. Everyone thinks it is, but I'm just going to tell them now, and I'm going to do a show that I think will take off, where regular people come and try and become wrestlers. Yeah, tough enough.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and did it dampen people's view on wrestling? I don't think so. There was a big debate about it at the time that a lot of people switched it off, but I don't think that it cost them anything. I don't think Tough Enough did as well as they expected. I think they thought that would be a massive thing, jump into reality TV.
I think, yeah, but then it's that thing of like you had Big Brother, you had Survivor, you had The Apprentice was probably starting around then.
Yeah. Oh no, it made sense to do the jump, but I just don't think it worked for the WWE.
I think it might have brought in new fans, maybe, because it's like, well, why is this regular Joe going on trying to be a wrestler on this reality show?
Yeah,
and it's like
it's almost a shame that everybody who ever wins the show never makes it.
Yeah,
that's part of the problem. I think,
go Silent Rage.
Oh, God, Silent Rage, yeah. Silent Rage wins Tough Enough, gets wellnessed, gets released. Great job.
Doesn't sell a stunner properly.
Yeah. Fuck off. That guy should never have won it anyway. I remember that was the season. That was the last season I watched because it was the Stone Cold Steve Austin season.
Yeah.
So it was like the reboot.
Yeah.
And the other guy, the guy who came second, that Luke kid, I think it was
The
called
one
Luke.
you wanted to win.
The one who I wanted to
Evil
win.
Luke.
Evil Luke, yeah. Who was actually talented in the ring and kind of could cut a promo. Yeah, why didn't he win? Because he's not big enough.
Yeah.
That was literally it. Because he's not big enough. So we're going to put this guy over who then is shit. Well, congrats. I could have told you that. He was shit the whole way through. But there we go.
We had Matt and Evil East as well, who've now gone on to Lucha Underground.
Yeah. Well, again, did they... I know they've moved on to Lucha Underground, but did they ever get a fair crack in WWE? Probably not.
No.
You know, were they ever given a push? Were they ever... I don't remember seeing them. Really?
Well, if Matt, there was that episode we watched together. I think you came around mine. We watched it, and it was he was in the ring with like Luke or one of the other guys, and it was he wasn't getting much offense in.
Yeah.
And Austin was like, "You need to get more offense in." He's like, "Well, I can show you what I can do." Because he was quite athletic and stuff, but they just didn't.
Yeah.
Again, he's athletic and he's quite muscular, but he's only like 5'7", 5'6", 5'5" or something.
It's not the look that they were going for. But I see, again, you can almost look at that nowadays, and they are starting to move away from that.
Yeah.
I think it'll help more when Triple H is taking more control. Still think he's a cunt. Yeah, we'll come to that later. I assume at some point. But he's changing almost the thoughts of people, and Vince is seems to be having less and less say. We're having less and less, like, you don't have somebody like fucking Jim Duggan running around anymore. That guy can fucking bite me. Sorry, no, hate Jim Duggan before we get anywhere. Just gonna throw that out there. He's a fucking shit wrestler, and I hate the fact they keep bringing him back for one-off matches.
So angry, Bunkell.
I'm not angry. I'm just like,
fuck this guy.
Yeah, fuck this guy. Right, this guy refuses to lose, refuses to put anybody over, and has never got over himself. But it's Hogan's buddy, so he got a fucking rub back in the 80s that he didn't deserve, and you know. He's one of them stereotypical, always got the size, he used to play football, but he's never been a wrestler. He's not a proper wrestler, and that's not the way I see him. And yeah, people like that, you know, are almost getting phased out. We're having all these amazing matches on TV now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, even back to the 90s, when people did like a 60-minute Iron Man match, it was like, how are they going to do 60 minutes?
Yeah.
Matches are 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
If that's a long match, 8 minutes. And now you're doing a 60-minute match. Yeah? And, I mean, they fuck it up nowadays because they put stupid rules in like, oh, there's a pin in an Iron Man match. We're having a 5-minute break. What? Stupid. But, you know, you're moving towards matches lasting longer, matches being almost more spot festy, in a way. Like, it's a lot less kick punch, and you're getting more actual moves, more, you know...
more of a story.
Yeah,
match,
exactly.
Actually.
Yeah. Again, you spoke about... you mentioned ring psychology briefly before with Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake the Snake Roberts, back in the day, used to put on great matches, what considered great matches back in the day. You watch one of them now, you're thinking, what the hell am I watching? Yeah. Whereas nowadays... everybody's putting on great matches. So, again, this is where, going back to a point at the very beginning, about character and about, you know, getting a character over. This is part of the problem, is everybody's having a great matches, so how do you make yourself stand out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem nowadays is it's like they always say, everyone has their own opinion or whatever.
Yeah.
And like what I might say a great match is like you'd be like, well, no, it wasn't that great actually because of this.
Yeah.
Or it's like the one of the best examples was I don't know if you've seen it, the Will Ospreay Ricochet in New Japan.
No, I've not seen it.
Essentially, it was spot after spot after spot. It
Right.
was very, very well done.
Yeah.
They went 14. Will Ospreay said we were given 15 minutes. We went 14:55.
Right.
But it's a lot of high flying stuff, and Vader was like, this isn't wrestling, this is just flips and all that sort of shit. And of course Vader being old school mentality, and Jim Cornette as well, sort of ripped it apart. I was like, no, that's not a match. It's like, well, you're both sort of stuck in the 80s and Smoky Mountain and
they are though. But again, it's what you consider to be a match. I mean, do you think Ric Flair put on great matches night after night? I think Ric Flair was a great performer. Possibly just above average actual wrestler. But if Ric Flair, in heyday Ric Flair, tried to get over now, it wouldn't get over. Because his matches aren't as, they're not as great as every single other match that you see him, because he wrestles a completely different style. Wrestling isn't the same anymore. I think that's why the cruiserweights are being brought back into it, and I think they get over a lot more, because every match it can have all these flips, it can have all the, the flip-to-dos and whatnot, but they're all great technically as well. And there'll be some that are literally map-based.
Like Noam Dar.
Like Noam Dar.
Saber.
Yeah, exactly. And that ability gets them over. And I mean, I'm not saying they're on the same level of map-based wrestling as a Kurt Angle or a Chris Benoit or whatever.
Taboo name.
Yeah, fine. I agree with that.
I get where you're going from.
Yeah, you watch some of the matches that Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle had. In fact,
2 out of 3s and stuff.
Yeah, or like thinking, was it a triple threat? Was it a triple threat ladder match with Benoit, Jericho, and somebody I can't remember, and it ended with Jericho putting one of them in the walls of Jericho on top of a ladder. I can't remember it. I know it was for the IC title. It might have just been Jericho and Benoit.
Was it not like a 6-man or something?
Oh, I don't know. I can't for the life of me remember
Jeff
the match.
Hardy or something you put in the walls?
It could have been, but it was like, again, but Jericho, I'd throw him in there. Jericho, Benoit, Kurt Angle, mat-based wrestling that's really, really entertaining. And they're technically so good. You don't need all these high-flying and flips. And when they come up against somebody who does all that, they ground them. And then you have a story in the match. So, going to work the knee, work the ankles, work the leg, essentially. So, this high flyer can't go high flying. Yeah? And I think, like...
That, again, comes back to your psychology and stuff like that.
Well, exactly. Building a story in the match.
Your story,
So, again, this is how you do... That's how they differentiate themselves from all these other amazing matches. So, it's... Again, it is personal opinion. It's what you enjoy watching. Yeah. I personally, I love the Attitude Era, but it was a lot of brawl to the outside and, going through the crowd and this, that and the other. Still, the psychology was amazing because the characters were amazing. Even if the matches weren't, that got it over. Nowadays, characters almost taking a back seat for a lot of it. I think, especially like you think about the generic themes they have now. Which I know Seth Rollins, I think he's getting a new theme, but his is. I think I read that somewhere, but his theme very, very generic. I think they all are very, very generic. Roman Reigns is still using the Shield theme, and it's like, well, why did you get that?
Why are you still wearing the body armor? Exactly.
So I think the characters aren't so important now because the matches are, they come across as spectacular and amazing, but you lack that character. So again, I lack the emotional investment in it, almost to a certain extent, which is why I don't watch it as often as I frequently should, or feel as though I should. It's, do I have the time to go and find the 3 hours of Raw to watch it all? No.
Plus the 2 hours of SmackDown, the hour of NXT, the hour of the Cruiserweight Classic.
Exactly. So I was listening to
plus a possible pay-per-view with a pre-show and a post-show.
Yeah, but there's a pre-show for Raw now on YouTube as well. So you've got the pre-show to every single Raw, which is already 3 hours long. So essentially, you're watching a WrestleMania long pay-per-view every time you watch Raw. There's nobody on earth has the time to sit and just watch. You couldn't keep up with the wrestling nowadays because you'd have to watch, like you say, you've got Raw with its own pre-show, SmackDown, you've got a pay-per-view, NXT, Cruiserweight Classic. You might even watch TNA, dare I say it, or ROH, or something like that. You don't have time to watch all of these shows.
This is my next point I was going to go on to, because it's nowadays you have all these companies around the world.
Yeah.
They're on-demand systems, stuff like that.
Yeah.
PCW's on demand, ICW's on demand, Progress on demand, Southside I think has an on-demand,
Right.
Hope Wrestling has an on-demand, New Japan has an on-demand, Ring of Honor I think has on-demand, Evolve has on-demand, Chikara you can watch on-demand, PWG you can I think you can stream them or something like that, or buy MP4s. Right. So you can go on like Smart Mark Video or one of the two things, and you can, or High Spots, you can rent or buy MP4 shows.
Yeah.
And stream them. And I think there's, again, Botchamania put like the list of shows that week. It was like 60 hours of wrestling or something that was available to watch that week.
Again, you can't.
So many different shows and stuff.
You just can't keep up. I mean, I'd say, okay, you would have watched WWE because that's where all the best wrestlers are. For the majority, there is no doubt about it. I'd hasten to say you could probably watch bits of WWE and still be up to date with what's going on. Mm-hmm. Pick whatever show your favourite character is on and watch that show. Yeah. I
know some people just like, I only tune in for their segments and their matches. The rest of it I don't bother watching.
Right. Well, again, that's that. I'm not going to argue with doing that. I'd say give PCW a look. I'll be open and honest. I haven't been to a show for a while. But
your boy is champ.
No, is he? Oh yeah, I knew that. I knew he was champ. Yeah.
Who did you think I was on about?
Yeah, no, I knew he was champ. Yeah, my boy. He's definitely he is a boy. He is a boy. For the listeners at home, a boy is somebody who has never won a major title. So by major title, I mean they can't have been a WCW champion, WWE champion, World Heavyweight champion. I'd probably throw in ECW champion as well since it was on TV. So you can't have been one of these champs, yeah? So therefore you could be a boy, because a champion's not a boy, because he's had his push. Yeah? Noam Dar, boy. Yeah. What? He is. He's a boy.
So I've just never heard. It's the first time I've actually heard someone reference it as a boy before.
A boy?
Right, yeah.
You can have a stable of boys. So your stable of boys is your stable of boys.
The term like boy I've heard about, like in Japan now they're called the young boys, which are the ones if you're new into the business, essentially you're paying your dues in. So you carry all the luggage, you set up the ring, you're essentially like a runner. You be doing this, that. You set up the chairs, you do tickets.
Oh.
You're like you're the one who gets ribbed constantly, stuff like that.
Right. No.
Like I heard a racist tirade once from like one of the like Japanese legends, like got one of the young boys, blacked him up. Chris Jericho sat there in the locker room and he brings him through and he's like ha ha ha, and then like this racist slur, and he's like that's not funny, it's actually quite offensive. But I'll tell you that one off the air.
Yeah. No, say this. I don't know. I have a stable of boys, but it's more of a case of, well, is this guy a boy? And I'll be like, yeah, go on then, he could be a boy. But the thing is, you have to take him out, because if they win a title, you got to take him out. Like, for a long time, I'm guessing Finn Balor would have been a lot of people's boy. But Finn Balor's held the title, so he can't be the boy no more. Come on, Coxy, have you got any boys? You must have a boy. Cesaro, is he a boy?
Well, yeah, he's never had a title, so.
Yeah, but again, there has to be something that attracts you to them. They could be super shit, and that's why they're your boy. Yeah.
Well, for me, there was like back in the day, there was Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer, but he held the ECW title.
Yeah, so he's
so
not.
He can't be a boy.
Like, I'm trying to think of that. Like, the problem is, even like I'd say Shinsuke Nakamura, but he's like the current NXT champion.
Well, NXT champ, I'm not counting that because it's a developmental league. Essentially, that's what it's played out as. So I wouldn't class it. So he could be a boy. Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, he's a boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going based on some of the matches I've seen because I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
But he's a boy. You know, D'Lo Brown, boy. D'Lo Brown is a boy. What?
It's this term, it's like...
Stable of boys. I don't know how you've never heard of this before.
Is that at least call them the Job Squad?
No, it's a boy. Steve Blackman, boy. Ken Shamrock, he's a boy as well. Steve Blackman, Ken Shamrock, they're definitely in there. Perry Saturn, he's got to be a boy. The man was absolutely off his skull the whole run. Definitely a boy.
Oh dear. And the problem is like Great Khali has held the world title.
Yeah, but Great Khali's not going to be nobody's boy. Everybody hated watching that guy. Everyone hated that guy.
There'll be that guy in
that man who got wellness before his own style match, and therefore the Big Show had to replace him on like 15 minutes' notice. Come on, headline in a pay-per-view in a Punjabi prison match. Oh shit, he's pissed hot. Fuck, Big Show, you do it.
Oh, dear.
Absolutely epic. A man who couldn't fucking walk pisses hot. Absolutely fucking epic. I'm trying to think who else is a boy. See, Dolph Ziggler can't be a boy because he held the title. I know it was for only a brief period of time, but he held the title. See, Jack Swagger can't be a boy.
Yeah, but Dolph Ziggler had one of the best memes ever.
Which...
You know, when he won it the night after Mania, and his theme like, I'm here to show the world. The crowd goes mental, they come running out, and I picture him holding the belt afterwards. I just showed the fucking world.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
sold.
Yeah. That sold me on Ziggler.
Yeah, and then they fucking quashed it after like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid, and they put the belt back on Del Rio. Del Rio can fuck off. I'm sorry, I hate that.
He's banging Paige currently.
Yeah, who's asked for a release.
Yeah.
And
they both got wellness at the same time.
I'm not shocked.
Coincidence.
I'm not shocked. I'm guessing they both pissed hot.
I'm guessing so.
Oh well. Fuck Paige, your brothers are weird. But no, again, I'm trying to think of who else is a boy.
Dennis Stamp.
Who?
Jim
Powers is a boy. This isn't the Jim Powers that everybody else is thinking about that I've just mentioned. This is the Jim Powers that I saw in PCW. He is definitely a boy. This is a man. I've never laughed so much at a wrestling match in my life. I nearly ended up off my chair. That was just the most epically funny thing I've ever seen. This massive fat guy. Brilliant. Oh, absolutely brilliant. And then when Bad News Brown gets hold of him, Rampage Brown,
yeah.
Fucking hell, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Oh,
I'm surprised he didn't go down for attempted murder.
It was fucking harsh. That guy is stiff, but absolutely brilliant. The funniest things I've ever seen. It really is, especially wrestling. He's a boy.
Well, I was going to, as we sort of get towards the end, I want your opinion on some bits.
Like, right, okay, yeah.
So it's going to be a few, like a list.
William Regal, boy.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. I love the style, that old British style. Mm-hmm. Mat wrestling's my thing. Be openly honest. Kurt Angle is my favourite wrestler of all time. Can't be a boy, but favourite wrestler of all time.
Well, would you say Kurt Angle got you into mat wrestling, or would you say
Yeah. Absolutely, definitely. It was reading his book really that it almost kind of sold it to me. I love the idea of the almost the geeky heel who doesn't realise he's a heel. I don't know why, but that seems to resonate with me. And he first come in, he's like, I'm going to be your hero, and then it's just mat wrestling. The most, 90% of people, especially in Attitude Era, just looks at me, fuck me, that's boring. Yeah. Especially when he's just out wrestling somebody and then he can't do anything, and it's literally mat move, pin. Yeah, and it's like, what did he do?
there was the Art of Wrestling podcast.
All right.
Colt Command had Dave Taylor on it one day.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, we're in WCW, and I had they gave me Sting to work,
Yeah.
and I put him in his hold." And I was like, it was a simple way to go out. All he had to do was move his leg and he'd be out of it.
Yeah.
And he put him in it, and Sting's just like sort of like shit it and didn't know how to get out of it because he was out wrestling.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he got to the back afterwards. He's like, "You shouldn't have put that on me. I didn't know how to get out of it." He's like, "All you had to do was take your leg out of it,
Yeah.
and you'd have been fine."
Yeah, exactly. But again, I reading his book, and he taught I don't know how true a lot of the stuff in the book is. He talks a lot about in wrestling in college, because it's all about the lead up to the Olympics, winning the Olympics, and then
with a broken freaking neck.
Yeah, and then which is true, I believe. And then going into the WWE and his run up until dropping the belt back to The Rock. Yeah, before WrestleMania X7. So that's what it covers. And he talks a lot about like his football career and how he basically had a choice of moving down to Carolina to play football on a scholarship, or staying in Pittsburgh and wrestling on a scholarship. This was when he's going from high school into college. Yeah. And his dad had just died. He died in a crane accident. He fell out of his crane and landed on his head. Yeah, and basically it was the culmination of the story really is he chose to stay in Pittsburgh and do wrestling because he wanted to be close to his mum and like his family. Because all along they go on about how important family is to them, and obviously he's got a lot of brothers and stuff like that. But again, some of the things that it's whether you believe it or not is like he talks about how he was like, oh well, he his dad died, and then he went and played football the next day because he didn't feel as though he processed it properly, and then he had like the best game of his career and stuff like that. And he talks about how he was like undefeated in wrestling and stuff, and I'm like,
did he score 4 touchdowns in a single game? Like Al Bundy.
I don't think it was quite 4, but he was because he played linebacker and fullback, which nobody will really understand outside of maybe me and a couple of listeners that I believe you have over in America.
There's fans in America. I've got fans over here who watch NFL as well.
Right. So, and he was like saying about how he made like 15 tackles and like 12 of them were for a loss, and he ran for like 200 yards on 8 carries, and and he was just like lighting it up, and I was kind of like, and he was like, oh, that season I ended up having like 1,000 yards. I was like, you're a fullback, not like there's a difference between a fullback and a running back. And it was like, I've not looked these stats up, but it seems like he was that much better than everybody else on his team. There is no way that people wouldn't have picked him to play football. And he claims it was because he was too short. But the man's not short. Yeah. He's a good 6 foot. Yeah. Having been stood next to the guy. Yeah. I mean, I'm 5'10", 5'11", and he's taller than I am. Yeah, so he's not short by any stretch of imagination. And if he was as quick as he says he is, and as great as he says he is, there is no way he wouldn't have got a scholarship to play football. I just don't. I don't believe it. Yeah, because at that age, his ability would have been off the charts. Yeah, type of thing. Again, it goes on obviously to wrestling, getting in training for the Olympics and stuff like that. But that's what got me into my wrestling. Kurt Angle's what almost drove me to watch more wrestling as a kid. Obviously, Stone Cold Steve Austin, when I first started watching, is kind of like I missed a lot of the big stuff with McMahon when I first started watching. And The Rock was the champ. And then obviously you had Kurt Angle just came in like not too long later, actually. It was...
I can't remember. He came in 99. I can't remember.
Late 99.
Because he had his undefeated streak until Royal Rumble 2000. Yeah.
So it was... But no, it was good. That's what drove me to watch more. So what got you into it?
Again, it's sort of going back to like that talk that Mike Quackenbush did. He was like... Because at the time it was 96. I would have been, 9?
Yeah.
9? So for me, it was like the colourful characters, the larger-than-life personas.
Yeah.
The fact it was like, well, to me at the time, it was like, shit, is this real sort of thing? Like,
Yeah.
Sitting like 9 years old or whatever, it's like, of course, you think this is like, oh shit, he'd actually hit him.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's bleeding.
Yeah.
But then as you get older, it's like you start to realise it's like, well, actually, it is scripted and
Yeah.
all that sort of thing. But it's like there's stuff like, to me, there's like some of the comedy like bits I've watched has wet myself laughing at.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Even bits we watched the other been wetting ourselves laughing.
Yeah.
Or even sometimes it's like you watch like when Dolph Ziggler cashed in and won the belt.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, that was like an amazing moment. It really was. It's a shame they squashed it.
Some of the pay-per-views like one of my favourites, WrestleMania 18.
Oh yeah.
I'd say one of the best pay-per-views probably of all time.
WrestleMania 18.
Yeah.
You see, well,
I know you've got a differing opinion.
it's not. No, my favourite is WrestleMania 17 because it has the greatest match ever on it, and I just think the build to it was perfect. The commentary was perfect. The ending was, well, I think it was perfect. It didn't obviously go over as they wanted to. I'm talking about Rock Austin 3, was it? Third time at WrestleMania?
Rock Austin 2 was 17. Rock Austin 3 was 19.
All right, there you go. So Rock Austin 2, when Austin did the heel turn in Texas.
Yeah.
And it didn't go... People were still cheering for him at the end, but that's because we were in Texas. And I still think... Austin says it cost him a lot of money nowadays. The one thing that I do regret is... because I can't find it now... is I used to listen to Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast, and he did a play-by-play of the match, essentially from his point of view, and how he was talking about it, and I never actually got to listen to it, because my phone crashed, and I lost everything. Went back to try and find it, couldn't find it. So I'll dig it out somewhere, because I'd love to sit and watch the match, and listen to what he talks about, him talking about it. But I thought that match was brilliant, and I was hooked on that match. And even now, like, I'll listen to somebody talk about that match, or like I'll hear the My Way and like the promo video for it, at the beginning of the pay-per-view, and I'm talking about it now, and I can feel the hair on like the back of my neck standing up, like getting goosebumps about it, because I was that emotionally invested in that match. That was the top of my enjoyment in wrestling. It was, like I was. I know it might be looked down upon to be that invested in it, but like I remember it wasn't that long ago when I rewatched it, and it brought like a tear to my eye. I enjoyed it that much. It was like, wow, that was so like amazing as a blow off, as like a match. It was, everything about it was perfect. The music to the music to the promo package was perfect. Every little bit of commentary they pulled for that video, perfect. Jim Ross at the end about Austin selling his soul. I mean, I nearly used that in my wedding speech. It's like that, it's that big. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
What does it have a Freddie Blassie voiceover? Is it Freddie Blassie who does them? I know he does most of them.
I don't think he did do a Freddie. I don't think they did do a Freddie Blassie voiceover for it. I think it was just bits of commentary.
Right.
If I remember correctly, but no, it was amazing. It really was. I'd almost say splice it in, but
I would. But it's like I can play 5 seconds before then it's like I'd get sued otherwise. Because it's like using audio and stuff like that, and I need a license and stuff which I can't be asked paying for.
Oh right, fair enough.
Otherwise, it'd just be like audio central.
But no, what did you like so much about 18 then? Because if I remember, 18 was Jericho and Triple H in the main event.
Yes.
But it wasn't considered the main event because it was Hogan Rock all over it.
It was, which I think partially led to the crowd being so dead, but then they threw in the women's match, whatever it was.
Yeah, again, this is it. The pacing of WrestleMania 18, I don't think was as good as 17. Because you didn't have... You need, like, the big match... the big match was... Well, there was the two big matches. There was Rock and Hogan.
Yeah.
And obviously the world title match was supposed to be your main event.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they did it in the right order by putting them on last, because the world champion should be on last.
Yeah.
But like you say, the crowd was dead because they hadn't got over the Hogan Rock match.
Yeah.
But...
Because I remember sitting there impressed, and I think was it 26, WrestleMania 26, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the lineup for the matches, whatever. So, because was it Taker? Was it Taker Michaels 2 or something, or Taker?
Oh yeah, I think it was
Triple H.
Yeah, it was Taker. Was it Taker Trips 2? Well, technically 3. Was it?
No, that was later on, I think.
Oh, it was one of them.
Might have been Taker Michaels a rematch.
Right.
Because they fought at 25.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
So...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I remember talking about the pacing of that event, like saying they need to have it on here and then save enough for whatever the main event was at the time.
Yeah.
Because it was otherwise the crowd, it would have been WrestleMania 18 all over again. Like the crowd has been gone.
Well, yeah, because you build up the crowd. The crowd needs time to rest.
Yeah.
Essentially, you can. How can I put it? You build up so much, you use up so much energy and passion that, if you don't have that little bit of a break about like a throwaway match, I know in recent WrestleManias, or at least ones that I remember, they always have like one of them matches with a celebrity in it.
Yeah.
And they throw that on just to, because the crowd's dead anyway, and they don't care. It's a 10-minute match and it just clears the air almost.
Yeah.
Well, go on, what's all it to you then?
Well, it's 18.
What do you consider to be the main event?
I'd say Rock Hogan, but then like the thing for me was like, because I got it on DVD.
I've got it on DVD.
Yeah. it was like the first like I think one of the first actual pay-per-views I bought on DVD.
Yeah.
And because it had all the stuff on it, like had all the lead up to Rock Hogan and the aftermath stuff on the Raw.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Plus, there's like all the backstage access stuff. Like, oh, here's all the molds we did for the casts and stuff. And,
it's basically Blizzard's.
and here's like WrestleMania 6 Hogan Warrior in the same arena or whatever and stuff like that. Like, and then you had there was Regal Van Dam for the
that was
European title.
Was that? Oh no, I'm thinking of a different match. I'm thinking that's the match where Van Dam takes a bump wrong.
Then you have like there's the hardcore title stuff.
The schmars.
Yeah,
with Maven. Goldust of all his gold weapons. Gold weapons for Goldust.
Gold weapons, and there's like the bit with Molly Holly who gets the belt and then she like runs into the door.
Yeah, the hurricane shuts the door in her face and knocks her out. No, sorry, it wasn't a hurricane. It was Christian, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
She hits Hurricane with a frying pan and he closes off the door.
Yeah.
But it's also like there's a really good tag team 4-way.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah.
You've got Taker, Ric Flair, which wasn't that great if I remember rightly.
It was. Yeah, I remember Taker, Ric Flair. I remember the build up to it as well, because I remember a specific point in the build up where I don't know where he was, but Taker went and attacked David Flair. Fuck David Flair. Worst wrestler, actor ever, whatever he is. And I remember, did he end up sat with him in the shower or something? Like bleeding.
I remember him sitting there because he'd meant to like kick shit out of him.
Yeah,
Like, he just sort of sat there like with his arm around him, going,
arm around him.
Come
He's
get
got
him.
like one little trickle of blood.
Come get him, boy. Well, I chew some tobacco.
Yeah, that was when Taker was going through the weird American Badass thing though. Again, which.
And then you had like I think DDP Christian, which I remember was
European title match. That wasn't that bad. Yeah.
You got like the women's match.
Was that the triple threat one?
Trish, Jazz, and Lita, and Trish in like the Canadian gear.
Yeah.
Quite over, which I thought was a good match.
So you're like talking about.
You got like Hall, Austin.
Yeah.
And. Is there a Nash match? No, there's not a Nash match on there. I can't remember.
There's Hall Austin with Nash at ringside.
Yeah.
And they were I remember because the fallout is from the Hogan Rock match is when Nash and Hall turn on Hogan because he refused their help.
Yeah.
Even though they could have got him the win.
But no, I remember watching the Hogan Rock match and sort of being enthralled in it because it was like, well, because the crowd sort of helped in a way because it's like 1 minute they're cheering for Rock and then it's Hogan, then it's Rock, then it's Hogan.
Yeah.
And it's like constant back and forth. Like, we don't know who we want to win, we can't decide, and we don't know if Hogan's heel or face or whatever and all that sort of thing. Like,
yeah.
It was, who do we cheer for and who do we want to win because we don't know. And then, like, Rock won it, so it's like, yeah, I'm happy with that. And then, like, Hogan gets ditched by the end of the year, comes back in the red and yellow. And
yeah. The thing is, that I thought that was the best outcome of that was the best outcome to me was we got Hollywood Rock at the end. Obviously next night on Raw, the fans have turned against you cheered Hogan. What are you cheering Hogan for? You've got The Rock. And there's Hollywood Rock and his new theme that takes like 10 minutes to start.
That was in 2003, you brought that in.
Oh, the new theme?
Yeah.
But that was like the beginning of Hollywood Rock.
Because that was, like, he went away and did Mummy 2 or whatever.
Right.
Came back with the new tattoo and had the whole helicopter.
Yeah.
And he's like wearing leather. It's like, I'm back. And everyone's like, yeah, we know you're meant to be heels, going to boo you. And then like there's a whole Goldberg stuff at Backlash 2004 or whatever it was.
Oh yeah. I'll say I just thought I'd look down the card and see what else was on at X7 because obviously we were talking about how much was on it.
Yeah.
But
X8 ran about.
Yeah, no, I know you were talking about X8, but I remember most of the card of X8.
Is there any matches I missed then?
What, on X8?
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
It's the only bits I remember is like you had Saliva did Superstar live.
Yeah, that was
Drowning
cool.
Pool did Tearaway live and the game, but he was hammered by that point, so he messed up the lyrics.
Oh yeah, he was fucked up.
But again, there was like the commentary for Triple H's entrance, and he's like talking about how that knee hanging by a thread.
The thigh injury.
Yeah,
the quad injury. Sorry, if you excuse my language. Matches. So matches for X8. Rikishi, Scotty 2 Hotty and Albert defeated Mr. Perfect, Lance Storm and Test. I don't remember that. Heat. That was on Heat, was it? That's why I don't remember it.
I think it's a special.
So yeah, RVD William Regal for the Intercontinental title opened the show. Yeah, gonna go with that. That's a pretty decent opener. Diamond Dallas Page, Christian, good. Hardcore title schmoz. Kane defeated Kurt Angle. Oh no, sorry, Kurt Angle defeated Kane in 10:45. 10:45? I don't remember that. The ring bell and the concussion stuff. Oh yeah, you can't say that now. Yeah, can you?
It was the bell for like 5 minutes, and then Kurt Angle was like kick shit out of him.
Yeah, that wasn't. I don't remember that being particularly great.
It wasn't.
Taker, Ric Flair, no DQ. Again, that was a bit iffy match. Edge defeated Booker T in 6 minutes 32.
See, I can't remember that match.
It
must be a bit of a throwaway.
Yeah, I think it was at that point because you're setting up to because you've had Taker on, so now you're setting up to you've got Austin Hall, which was after it, which I don't remember being particularly great because I was kind of like, why is Austin that far down on the card?
Yeah, why is taking on Scott Hall? It just seems like, well, with nothing else for you, so do you fancy taking on Scott Hall?
Yeah.
You get your mania payoff.
Then there was the 4 elimination tag match for the titles. That was a great match. That was a really good match. Then Rock Hogan. Then you had the women's match. But how long did the women's match go? You see, the women's match went 6 minutes. So you've had 16 minutes of Rock Hogan. So you can imagine the crowd up and down for that whole match, or even just up the whole time. People were on their feet, if I remember watching it. And then you had a 6-minute breather, and then 18:41 of Trips Jericho. Yeah. But again, it's the thing is, like you said, the only issue I had with the pacing of X8 was that last bit. Because I thought the women's match was good, but a little too small, a little too short. That could have gone maybe 8 minutes, maybe. Yeah, your opening 2 matches are great. Your hardcore schmaz is a hardcore schmaz. Kane match, throwaway, don't remember it. Yeah, the tag title match was great. It's like every card. Every card has like good matches, has bad matches. But I think I understand why Rock and Hogan is so big to people. I understand why you put that match. You know, you say that match makes that pay-per-view because it was the main event. I don't. You know, despite what Triple H and Jericho will say, at that day the title was smaller than that match.
Well, I think if like nowadays, say like they've done it now, in the age you're in rather than 16 years ago, whatever it was, I think it'd be a different, hell of a different like pay-per-view layout. Yeah, like I think you would have had Rock Austin on last. No, Rock Hogan on last even. Sorry.
Yeah, they seem more. They seem less afraid of doing that now and relegating the title match. But do you not feel as though that makes the champions look cheap or weak?
Well, they did it at SummerSlam. The one just gone. They had the two Raw. They had the Raw and SmackDown title matches, but then you had Lesnar Orton headlining.
Oh yeah, which is supposed to be shite.
Yeah,
I've not seen it.
I've not because they made SummerSlam 4 hours. I've only watched 2 of it, and I couldn't be asked anymore.
No, I thought that shit. But you see, the thing is, matches like Lesnar Orton, there was no build to that match really. From what if it was that important to headline a SummerSlam, which is supposed to be your secondary big pay-per-view, you know, Mania, SummerSlam, your 2 big ones. I don't remember there being that much build. I know Lesnar was in the UFC and pissed hard, and I know Randy Orton always pisses hard. So my understanding was there wasn't really a build, so there wasn't really going to be that ring psychology, and Lesnar just kills people, which is why he can't really headline, because he has to win, and he has to win clean and quite like devastatingly. I think it was quite funny. I know when he first made his return and he got beat by Cena, he absolutely killed Cena, and then Cena won on a fluke. And the funny thing about it is Vince did it because he was afraid Lesnar would just bolt and go back to the UFC. Yeah, he'd just like renege on his contract and just jump out straight away.
But did you ever watch the? Because we watched WrestleMania. Was it 30 we watched together? When it was Taker Lesnar.
Yeah.
And there's like the guy in the front row like looking absolutely shocked.
Ellis, whatever he's called. Yeah.
And there's him like looking shocked, but then there was Paul Heyman at the evening with Paul Heyman's recently.
Right.
And someone asked.
Oh, yeah. Whether they thought it was a work.
Yeah. And he's like, let me put this bit of doubt in your mind.
Yeah.
It's like 3 people knew the ending, or how that match was going to end. Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
Myself.
Yep.
And Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And it's like, Brock Lesnar does what Brock Lesnar wants.
Yeah.
Say he was told he was going to lose.
Yeah.
He chose not to. He purposely gave The Undertaker a concussion.
Yeah.
He purposely held the leg harder than he should have, so Taker couldn't kick out.
Yeah.
That's why there was the graphic change. Yeah. That's why there was confusion.
Yeah.
Like, did Brock Lesnar do it? Or didn't he?
Yeah. No. Yeah, and he kept it quiet. Yeah.
I watched utter bastard!
I remember watching that video. I was at somebody else's wedding when that came on Facebook, right? And what had happened was, obviously, getting ready for a wedding, you got to get dressed up in a suit, blah blah blah, all that schmaltz. And the wife had forgotten her wedding rings, because obviously take them off to do like makeup and all that, like nails and stuff, So we left the wedding, so we got there late. We arrived late,
James Bunkell is never late. What happened?
James Bunkell is never late except for traffic, because I had quite a way to go, and arrived late. Not just as the bride was pulling up, actually, so we managed to just like scoot into the room.
Yeah.
And he won't listen to it. It'll be fine.
He might.
He won't. He doesn't. I don't think he really does podcasts. I don't know. Maybe he does, but he spends half his time in France. I've now given away who it is. So anyway, I was there on time, as far as you know. And then we got to the reception, So you had the wedding, and then it was. Did they make us? No, they didn't. They didn't want us to stay around for pictures. Then we ended up. We had to drive from the church to, which was in Satans, to Lytham, and we got there. I had a few drinks. Surprise. And then we thought, well, we don't know how long they're going to be, because we didn't. So we came back. We came back to get our rings, but we met someone halfway who brought them. Yeah. And it came on while I was on the car journey back. This popped up on my Facebook feed, and I was like watching it, and I'm listening to him talk, and I'm thinking, no way. And it was like, but no one could stop Brock Lesnar doing what he wants to do. Because I was thinking, and because it's Heyman, and Heyman is so charismatic and so good, you're hooked on every word already. And I've not seen any of the rest of it. I'm just in this cut bit, and it's like, you couldn't stop Brock Lesnar. Even if the Undertaker wanted to, he couldn't stop Brock Lesnar from beating him. Nobody could. Nobody can stop Brock Lesnar. So it's not even like he's got creative control. It's just, you can't stop him. Yeah. You've paid this guy X amount of millions to do what he wants. He could just hijack your show. Yeah. Oh fuck.
It's put that thought in my mind now of because I remember you told me the story of when he asked his now wife Rena Miro, or formerly Sable, on a date by breaking into her house.
Yeah. And then he literally stalked her and then broke into her house and refused to leave until she went on a date with him. Yeah. And now they're married. Brock Lesnar does what he wants.
So it wouldn't surprise me, but then it'd be that thing of he's walked into gorilla position after the match. It's like, who's gonna walk up to him and say, "What the fuck did you just do?" Yeah, no one.
No. you can imagine it. You can imagine
But then the problem is he's done it, and it's like the Facebook blew up. Yeah. Twitter blew up. Yeah. And it's like, you've just created us a whole shitload of hype.
Yeah. Well, that's
by doing what you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's it. Again, I'm. If we look at it and you work on the assumption that it wasn't a work, it was a shoot, that he concussed him on purpose, and he pinned him.
If you're listening, you don't know what a shoot is. Essentially, it means legit.
Yeah. If Brock Lesnar did what Brock Lesnar wanted to do, he's a smarter businessman than Vince is, because Vince would. I don't think Vince would have put him over. I just don't. Because I think he was looking at it as, I'm just going to keep this streak going and I'm going to keep selling it. Yeah, until Lesnar passes, until Lesnar, the Undertaker decides, I cannot do this anymore. Yeah. I cannot come back and make my $1 million or whatever it is every year. Yeah, he'll be in a wheelchair probably by the time he does that. But I think what hurts it, Brock Lesnar winning that meant Brock Lesnar now can't lose. And I don't think he has lost since.
Don't think so. Because he massacred Dean Ambrose this year at Mania. Yeah. And now Dean Ambrose is somehow SmackDown champ. Yeah. Which I don't understand the logic of.
They drafted him. Yeah. When he won the world title, like the proper world title, and they drafted him, so now he's SmackDown champ. But again, I understand why they wanted to do the brand split. I get it, because back in the day when they did the brand split, they had all this talent and they had to do something with it. Yeah, but the champ used to move between both shows, which was good. Now you have separate ones, and you're hoping that they can sell it, but you're going to end up with a world champion and a WWE champion type thing.
The Universal champion now.
Yeah, but you're gonna have the guy curtain jerking. Yeah. And it's going to be pointless. So, provide the thing that they'd have to do with that is they have to stick with them straight away. You can't almost pitch one over the other. You can't have one curtain jerk on one end of the show.
Yeah.
They both need to be at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Lesnar can't lose. You can't put Lesnar in a title match because if he loses, the guy who beat the streak's lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what annoys me about The Undertaker still coming back. He should have stopped because there is no reason to keep bringing him back for every WrestleMania. The streak's gone. And he's coming back and he's just jobbing out young guys and not putting people over. And it just looks like it's an old guy who doesn't want to relinquish his spot, basically. He's holding people back. And that's what it comes across as. You lost by Brock Lesnar's will or booking, whatever it was. You got beat. Give up. Yeah. I don't need to see a near 50-year-old man or whatever he is try to wrestle.
Yeah.
Every year he gets on that top rope and does the walking along the top rope and I think he's going to die this time. he's going to fall. He's going to fall out the ring and land on his head because he's old. And I don't care what work he's doing to keep in shape.
I think the worst one was that one at 25, when he did the jump, that leap over the top rope and just came down head first.
Jesus.
Like, no.
Yeah. But again, I mean, even the Undertaker's streak is something, I know that obviously it was manufactured, but you look at the people he's beat, and there's no real, other than the WrestleMania 13 match with Triple H, was 13 it was.
Was it 13?
Yeah, I'm sure it was 13. 13 or 14.
It might have been 14.
One of the first one that they don't talk about anymore.
Yeah.
The one that was good. Yeah, and not
because 12 he dropped to Trips dropped to Warrior on WrestleMania 12.
Yeah. Oh, it might have been 14 then, but the first one anyway that they don't talk about now because it's not. I don't know why.
Carry on, you pick your interest now. I've got to see.
So basically, that was a good match. The match with Randy Orton when Randy Orton was the Legend Killer, good match. Every other match he's been in, pretty shite. Or he's faced somebody that doesn't matter. Ooh, Mark Henry, he's going to beat the streak. No, he's not. Yeah. Giant Gonzalez, he's going to... No, he's not. Giant Gonzalez, come on.
The streak didn't really become a thing until later on, did it really?
It was, because you can't tell me that Vince McMahon didn't know he was undefeated at WrestleMania. You can't tell me that he didn't plan that for years. For 20 plus years. He's not stupid. This is a man who freaks out when he sneezes because he loses control. Because he can't stop an involuntary action of sneezing. This is a man who literally has left meetings because he sneezed.
I sneezed.
Yeah, seriously. Was it Heyman who was talking about it?
Yeah. Vince McMahon sneezed in front of him once, and he's like, "What's wrong, sir?" And he's like, "I sneezed, God damn it!"
Yeah.
He's like, Do you want a tissue?
Yeah, this is a man who's that much of a control freak.
But no, I mean, like, in terms of... There was never... As far as I'm aware, there was never... Or as I can remember, there was never any point made about the streak up until recent. Like, it was never, he's undefeated. Like, it was never... A big point was never made about the number of people defeated. Until it was like, he's 15-0 with 16-0, whatever.
Maybe
let's have a look. Right. First was Jimmy Snuka at WrestleMania 7 in 91. 92 it was Jake Roberts at WrestleMania 8. Giant Gonzalez WrestleMania 9. King Kong Bundy WrestleMania 11.
Yeah, Bundy, he was over.
Well, all these matches though, 4 minutes 20, 6 minutes 36, 7:33 by DQ on Giant Gonzalez. King Kong Bundy, 6 minutes 36, and then you have Diesel at WrestleMania 12, 16 minutes 46. Psycho Sid at WrestleMania 13, 21 minutes 19. Kane at 14, 16 minutes 58. Bossman at 15, 9 minutes 46.
I'm way out.
Triple H at 17, which is the first confrontation, 18-17.
17, that's why, there you go, there's another great match on 17.
18, Ric Flair, 18 minutes 47. WrestleMania 19, Big Show and A-Train, 9 minutes 45. Kane at WrestleMania 20, which is 7 minutes 45. And then you have like Randy Orton at 21, which is 13-0, 14 minutes 14.
That was a good match.
Mark Henry in a casket match at WrestleMania 22, which is 9 minutes 26. Batista at 23, which is 15.47. Edge at 24, which is 23.50.
Well, people say that's a good match. I don't remember being great.
Michaels at 25, which is 30.41.
That was a good match.
Michaels again at 26, which was 23.59. Triple H at 27, which is 29.22. Then Trips again in 2012 at 28, which was 30 minutes 50. And then Punk in at 22.07 at 29.
You see, again, a lot of those matches, I don't think, you look down the names on there, and I don't think that a lot of them are great matches. Yeah. And this is the thing, I don't know. They built it up, and I understand it. I understand why. I understand why you use that as a USP, a unique selling point. But once he'd done the job and he got beat, he then just squashing young guys. So I mean, I can't think of. I know he's. Has he had Triple H again since then? I know he's fought Bray Wyatt in one.
Yeah. And
beat Bray Wyatt in like 9 minutes or whatever it may have been, and it's like, well, why? Bray Wyatt was supposed to be the next big up-and-coming thing. The guy who's great on the mic. Not bad in ring, great on the mic. Yeah, squash him. Yeah. Just kill his heat completely.
He sort of... Bray Wyatt said, though, before, he's like, I'm in no rush to main event or anything. He's like, I'm sort of pacing myself, because I think he's 26, 27, something like that. He's still quite young.
Yeah.
But again, like Bray Wyatt, his opening, like his debut, I was pretty much sold on him straight away. Like the vignette they did.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh no, I completely agree with that.
And I think they need to bring that element of Bray Wyatt back into it.
Yeah.
Rather than him just like doing a load of bloody cryptic nonsense and then having like a average match.
Yeah.
Getting beat by like Ryback or someone. For no reason.
Yeah, well, that's it. This is like the booking with Bray Wyatt has never made any sense. Going off topic from The Undertaker, this was a man who came in, was made to look like the next big thing, then jobbed out, then tried to make him look like the next big thing again, then jobbed him out again, like always at the main pay-per-view.
Yeah, and
then. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with him now. I've not heard any hype. It's kind of like it died. Like they split. I remember when they split the other two guys from him, Roman and Rowan, Harper and Rowan even.
Harper and Rowan, yeah.
Why do I call him Roman Harper? Has I got that name?
I'm thinking Roman Reigns.
I'm thinking of starting strong safety for the New Orleans Saints, which is really sad that I can recount that. But. Yeah, Harper and Rowan, split them from him. Now they're back. Now they're gone again.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, these two guys need a figurehead. They're not, neither of them are, well, they don't talk, so I'm assuming they're not great on the mic. And their characters are based on the Bray Wyatt character. They are his disciples.
Yeah.
So keep it that way. And the new guy, Braun Strowman, or whatever he's called, who they keep putting up against jobbers, fuck that for a month of Sundays. Again, a guy who looks like who can't move, can't speak, but has the look.
That's what Vince McMahon wants.
Yeah, but this isn't making him look strong. Yeah, beating that guy with a triple chin. Yeah.
Apparently this is what they wanted to do, though. They wanted to bring back the old, like, local jobbers and stuff to try and get people over.
But it's not going to work.
It seems to be, in a way. But, like, I'm not sold on this Braun Strowman guy.
I'm not. What I've seen has been below par.
Yeah. But no, I think they need to, like, do what they did with Taker and get, like, Bray Wyatt a manager.
Yeah.
Who either speaks for him or just acts for him on his behalf. Like, how Undertaker had the urn.
Yeah.
Which is somehow phased away, but that was apparently his power.
Yeah.
Like, it helped him, it made him sit up and stuff. Like, they should do that with the lantern.
Yeah. Well, again...
Make the lantern the power.
They brought the whole Sister Abigail thing, and they did that for a while, and his finish is called that. but we've never heard anything about it since.
Yeah.
You know, they started out with it, and then it just stopped. Well, how about a woman manager who can talk a bit?
Yeah.
I don't know if they exist still, but I'm sure you can find one. You know, and I'm not even saying... And the last thing I want them to do is to go, oh, here's this diva.
Yeah.
No. That's not what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is a manager. Like, Miss Elizabeth was a manager. She never got in the ring. She did any wrestling. She was a manager. I'm not saying it should be somebody who looks like her, because she's too much of a beautiful woman for it, at least back in the day. Yeah? It needs to be... I don't know. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head who could do it. But
there's not many female managers about nowadays, really.
Yeah.
They're all...
But they need like a certain look, is what I mean. Like, you can't go and just... You know, you can't just go and pluck some, you know, really good-looking young woman and stick her with Bray Wyatt. It's not going to work. It doesn't look right. You can't go and stick Maurice with him. Like, her with The Miz makes sense. Yeah? Taking someone like that, putting Bray Wyatt doesn't work. But you need something, anything, you know, to try and put him back over. But I don't know.
Well, I would have said, like, bring in, like, maybe a male manager. But
Well,
then
you could
have
do
it,
is
have
it was
that
just
played
a thought.
off. Have it played off that, like, Sister Abigail was killed off or something.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
And then whether it's, like, Bray Wyatt's uncle or...
Yeah.
A relative of Bray Wyatt, like an elder.
Yeah.
That sort of is mentoring him and stuff.
Yeah. Well, like,
Something
again,
like that.
It's something to add to the gimmick, because you've built it up and squashed it that many times. It needs freshening up.
Yeah.
Is essentially what I'm saying, or we are saying.
So. Yeah. Anything else you want to add, wrestling wise? Or
Wrestling wise,
this could be like another 2 hour tangent here, though. But
yeah, well,
it's 2 hours already, right?
I was going to say this could be another 2 hour tangent. Depends who you want to talk about. Have you got anything else written down?
Well, I pretty much made a load of notes because I did the bit of like the whole take-us there.
Yeah.
If it was 99 summed up, it's Poker Doom, DDP becomes champ for the first time, Triple H becomes champ for the first time, as does VKM. You have Over the Edge 99 with Owen Hart falling. You've got the West Texas Rednecks, the Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view, Kennel in a Cell, Jericho debuts as well.
Oh, Hell in a Kennel, you mean?
Yeah, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That shite.
Yeah.
The whole It's Me Austin segment.
Yeah.
And then you have like they also brought out Beyond the Mat.
Right. Well, to pick up on a few of them, Hell in a Kennel, stupid idea. Made no sense. Stupid storyline. Well, yeah, it was a stupid storyline, but again, Al Snow is a comedy character. I hate the Big Boss Man. I don't know why, but I hate him. I hate every match that I've seen him in. I can't think of a decent one. I hate them all. And like, this is a man who's been around since like the 80s.
Yeah.
And was like a bad guy, then Hogan's best mate, and then a bad guy, and then just a bodyguard, but a really shit one, and a cop, but again a really shit one, and a ref, but a really shit one.
And he was Big Bubba Rogers at one point.
Oh.
What's my gimmick?
You have no gimmick.
You're Big Bubba. Okay.
Yeah, you have no gimmick.
Still, with the finish, it's still called the Boss Man Slam.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm Hogan's mate, so I'm safe.
Yeah, he's one of those people that I don't think was a particularly great worker. I don't think it was a particularly good promo, but had longevity for some strange reason. I
Never held a world title either.
Never held a world title. He's not a boy. He's not a boy. Because I don't... No, he's not a boy. Jim Duggan, again, is another version.
He's your boy.
He's not a boy. He's not my boy. No, he's not my boy. I think...
It's your boy.
He's not a boy. Yeah, he's not a boy. I had somebody else in mind who's... He's not in the stable of boys. I had somebody else in my head who was like that, who was... Oh, Greg the Hammer Valentine, yeah? For some reason was around for ages, but was terrible at everything. Yeah. The guy had like a number of managers that were supposed to be mouthpieces. Never got him over. Tag team with Brutus Beefcake. Didn't get over. Tag team with Honky.
Tom Man as well.
Never got over.
Rhythm and Blues.
How did that guy have such a long run? It makes absolutely no sense. There are certain guys in this business, I don't know how they do it, that beg a belief to me, because to me, they never get over, but it's like they never do anything, so they're just around for,
I think it's that
forever.
thing of you're either kissing off arse, or you're coming and you're sort of, right, you're doing this, yes, okay. You're just sort of like a yes man, right? You're gonna lose to this person, yes, okay. You're gonna tag team with this person, yes, okay.
Yeah.
You don't answer back. You just sort of turn up. You do the job. You get paid. You go home. You go out again. You do the job. You get paid.
Yeah.
Like a career yes man, but then it's like, I'm not gonna speak up. I'm not gonna voice my opinion. I'm just gonna go out there, do what they ask me to, and get paid for it.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. If you want to make me champion, fine, but
yeah, you're never gonna get anywhere. But fine. Like, for how long he was around the fucking business, Roddy Piper is one that I don't understand. Go back and watch Roddy Piper, right? The biggest point in his career was the feud with Mr. T, right? And that boxing match, that they did. Was it 2? WrestleMania 2?
I think so. Yeah,
it was 2 or 3. I think it was 2.
I think it was 2.
It was 2 because that was the one at multiple arenas, wasn't it? They did it in 3 different places.
Yeah. Which is fucking stupid.
Absolutely retarded idea. But then again, I assume he got paid a lot of money to do it. So, but at no other point during his run does he have a feud.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any. And he refuses to job. So he always DQs.
If you jumped to like WCW, I think like 98.
That's when he did the job.
He did the job. It was like Hogan. It was him and Hogan.
Yeah,
like the title and stuff. And then it was like in 2000, sort of, it was like him and Flair for like commissionership of WCW. Or something.
Right. But I'm talking like in his what I considered his main run in the WWE.
Yeah.
Or
he did
F
nothing.
at the time. He did nothing, and yet that guy gets until recently.
There's the odd bit with Bret Hart. Yeah, like that Intercontinental title back and forth thing. I don't think it went back and forth much, but it was about that. It's like a sort of...
Again, even think about it. Like you think about where Bret Hart ended up and how far he got.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper did basically nothing in this business, and consistently gets brought back as this legend who was so amazing because he cracked the coconut on Jimmy Snooker's head. Yeah. One incident in time, and that man was around for years and is considered one of the greatest of all time, probably by certain people. And he never did anything. He does. Where does he get? Where did people get off on it? How did the man stay around so long? How did he have such a reputation when he did nothing?
It's like though Jimmy Snooker, claim to fame. I died off a cage.
Oh well, you mean the murderer?
Yeah, that as well. But before that, it was, well, what's my claim to fame? Well, you died off a cage once.
Yeah.
And you influenced Mick Foley. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but again, his claim to fame isn't that he's actually famous. His claim to fame is that Mick Foley watched him and thought, hell yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Because Mick Foley is one of the greatest of all time. I'm not saying it was perfect in every way because he wasn't. But the man put in that much effort to get himself over. It worked. You know, I can understand why they keep bringing Mick Foley back and saying he's the hardcore legend. Okay, hardcore legend's a bit strong. Yeah, because you see people do crazy shit nowadays. In ECW, they did crazy stuff.
Oh, Japan was worse.
Oh, well, yeah, probably was. But, you know, Mick Foley in the WWE, like, they talk about his match with Edge being the greatest hardcore match of all time. No. Just no. It wasn't. It wasn't even that good.
I've watched it once years ago.
I watched it live. With you.
Did we watch it live?
We watched that live in your living room.
That was 22 though, wasn't it? Maybe 22?
I'm sure we watched it live in your living room. I'm sure we did. I remember watching it with you, specifically, and I'm sure it was live.
I can't fucking remember.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, there've been 32 of them, mate, or 33 of them now.
Yeah.
I've lost count.
But again, it wasn't the greatest hardcore match of all time. It wasn't even as good as his street fight with Triple H.
Yeah.
Which, you know, the retirement match lasted for like 6 weeks. But again, it's... He had a character. He had something that... I understand why they keep bringing him back. I understand why he's now a general manager. I understand why they keep referencing him. I understand why they keep bringing Austin back. I understand why they keep bringing The Rock back. The Rock's even still active, I suppose you could say. But Roddy Piper don't make any sense. Like I said, like to my original point, there are people who just somehow seem to stick around in this business and have, to me, no reason to be there.
I think it is just that thing of like just making an impact somehow. Whether it's through a promo, like because he had Piper's Pit, whether it's like because people are always going to talk about the coconut incident. Yeah, they're always going to talk about the boxing thing with
Mr. T.
Mr. T.
Yeah,
like they're not as much going to talk about him and Hogan in WCW.
Keep on.
They're not going to talk about him and Flair arguing over having matches back and forth with the relationship. They're going to talk about the boxing thing. They're going to talk about Piper's Pit. They're going to talk about Goldust and Piper at WrestleMania 12 with the backlot brawl shite.
Is it raining?
No, I don't think so. No, it's not. It was looking like it was trying to before, but I don't think it has done. Yeah, there's things like there is. I think it's that sort of making that mark and having that career longevity, like it's almost like career security because you've done something to stay relevant in a way. But then it's sort of the problem with wrestling is you have no security. You don't have a pension at the end of the day, so you have to. Yeah, you have to. If you don't spend, if you spend it. You buy a big house and you do the drugs and sex, drugs, rock and roll sort of thing. You're going to lose your money quickly, and then you're going to have to do convention appearances and I need to job to Heath Slater on Raw so I can get me $200 so I can buy afford this hotel room for the night. Then I've got to do this indie appearance and beat the shit out of some kid and get my another $200 and then get my autograph appearance money or whatever.
I know what you're saying. I mean,
It's like you watch the Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler.
Yeah.
And there's that bit where he's at that like tiny ass convention in that like gym hall or something. Yeah. There's like him and like 4 other guys, like 2 in a wheelchair or something. They're all like they're charging like $10 for an autograph and a picture. Right. And you can tell he's sort of looking at and trying to sort of convey it's like, fuck, this is what I'm reduced to, sort of thing. Yeah. It's like I was world champion. And now I'm in some like shit little gym hall selling autographs and stuff. Yeah. I understand that. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I mean, no matter how coveted, conscious and how protective you are of your spot, you will eventually lose that spot. Yeah. It's time. But I don't know. There's one boy for you, Heath Slater. Heath Slater's a boy.
Heath Slater, yeah. Ooh, I'd say Wade Barrett was a boy. Wade Barrett's boy. Mm. One of my other greatest moments in wrestling history when Wade Barrett beat John Cena and the Nexus went over, and then they fucking killed it within seconds. The next night on Raw, I'm going to join the Nexus, but I'm just going to be a prick to him, and I'm just going to destroy it from the inside because I'm John Cena and I don't turn heel. Oh, great, wonderful. So we've spent all this time building the Nexus up, and now they're just going to get jobbed.
Yeah.
Fuck. But yeah, we've not even spoken about John Cena yet. For Christ's sake,
good. You didn't deserve airtime.
Well, true, but he's one of them. I don't know. I suppose actually he does try and put people over, at least recently. But I'm guessing he's winding down.
Apparently he is, yeah. But again, it's like. I'm sure he said at one point, he's like, I'm not winding down, I'm just sort of reducing my schedule because I deserve to reduce my schedule.
Oh yeah, I can understand that.
It's going to be that thing of like, I think there was one time when they put the belt on Del Rio and the ratings shot down. Yeah. And it's like, on that night on Raw, it's like, shit, we need to do something. quick, put the belt back on Cena.
Yeah.
I think I remember texting you that. You single reply was, big capital letters, just fuck this company.
But you get... But again, that comes from... John Cena's style since he turned face, and John Cena's... The way he's put across since he became a face pisses me off.
Yeah.
Now, if you think about it, like, right, it's probably slightly too in depth. It looks like you had the Hogan era, yeah, where the big white meat babyface All American Boy was champ.
Yeah. Then
you had the Attitude era. You had the New Generation era in the middle, which nobody really remembers fondly. And, you know, Michaels was always coked out of his mind anyway. I wouldn't mind if that wasn't true, but it was. Nobody really remembers it because nobody ever talks about it. They talk about Hogan. Nobody ever talks about Shawn Michaels being champ. Nobody ever talks about Bret Hart being champ. Really, in that New Generation era, nobody talks about it.
It was the New Generation era was seen like the black era.
Yeah,
it was. Is WWE going to like sink or swim sort of thing?
Yeah, again, nobody talks about it. Diesel is fucking champ. Yeah, the lowest drawing champion in history.
Yeah, but it was like when they put the belt on Backlund in the 90s, though. Like Backlund had the belt and he lost to Diesel in 9 seconds.
Yeah, well, putting Bob Backlund near anything is ridiculous. Yeah, even nowadays, just I cannot stand it. Make Darren Young great again. He was never fucking great. He was never even competent. Anyway, so then you go on to Attitude Era. Yeah, you know, it's anti-hero almost as your champion is the guy that's over.
Yeah.
And then it's like peaks and troughs. So now you've had like that iffy era again, and you've had Trips as champ, which was like everyone credits him for carrying the company in this angle. I don't think I don't agree with that. And you know, say what you want, but there was nobody else to put that belt on. There was nobody.
Well, it was like sort of
Austin left, Rock left.
Because the problem was it was January '99 when they did the whole on Raw tonight, Mick Foley, aka Mankind, defeats The Rock for the title.
Yeah.
And of course, Nitro's ratings just suddenly went down, and everyone was suddenly tuning into Raw. And Raw's going up and up and up.
Yeah.
And Nitro was just like, well, that was a bit stupid.
Yeah.
But we'll win them back, don't worry. Like,
no, they're not coming back. They're not coming back to your shit. No way. But yeah, so again, you had a bit of a weird dark period. Might be babyface again, John Cena. Yeah, and now you're moving towards again a more almost anti-hero style idea for your champion. You know, Seth Rollins you hate him because he's so good. You think about Kevin Owens is a heel and he's your champion, but if he's a long running champion, he's a heel, but he's a face. People cheer him even though he acts like a heel. Yeah, so you're hoping, at least I am, that's leading again towards your Attitude Era style. Yeah. Running with the belt and whatnot, and then you'll have a dark period again, and then you'll have your white meat babyface again, and it runs like that. And I think
it goes to that thing of like you're saying, sort of it's going to go up and up and up and then down again, and it's going to go up again, and it's sort of that slump is going to come at some point.
Yeah,
it's a case of when. But it's like the problem now, not so much a problem, but it's like the thing nowadays. So you have like guys like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins. They've been in the business 10 plus years already before WWE, so they're putting on better matches. But people, it's like for Kevin Owens, it's like, right, boo this guy. It's like, well, I would, but he's just too fucking talented not to.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I hate this country, it sucks, whatever. But you're a good wrestler. It's like, you know, it's...
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, the thing is, you'll end.
Again, it goes back to that thing of how wrestling has changed. The fans
Yeah.
have changed.
Yeah.
It's like back in the day, you cheered Hogan because Hogan was all, I
real
love
American.
America. I'm a real American, all that sort of thing. It's like you booed Sergeant Slaughter because he was on like anti-American, supporting Iran and the war and stuff. But you don't have that dynamic nowadays. You can't have someone coming in and be the patriot anymore.
They tried to do it. They tried to go down that route, didn't they? With the much publicised Mohammed Hassan deal where he brought the terrorists onto pay-per-view to take out the Undertaker. Now, personally, I enjoyed the Mohammed Hassan character originally. I thought it's not bad on the mic. Needs a bit of work in ring, but he's got the look. He comes across as a threat. He's booked relatively strong. Maybe not Undertaker strong, but he's booked relatively well. Yeah? And then they did the terrorist thing, and they killed it straight away because they just panicked. Yeah? Whoever came up with that idea, I hope got fired. I'm sure they did. Because I guarantee you the wrestler didn't come up with that idea. Yeah? But that was them trying to do alright, well, we'll have the Patriot in Cena, who was your Patriot at the time, and then we'll bring in this, anti-American, this driving force to be a terror, lack of a better of a word, towards John Cena. And they killed it. And I'm glad they did kill it, because they did it, that angle was terribly done. Yeah. And it's gone down in history as just that, or as one of the worst ideas they've ever had. It killed a young man's career, really, as well, which is what should be seen as the more upsetting part, because he's not a terrorist, obviously. Yeah, but again,
Mohammed Hassan's boy. Never won a title.
He's never won a title, but for diplomatic reasons, let's say, he can't be a boy.
He's not in the stable of boys.
He's not in the stable of boys now. He can't be in the stable of boys. But no, yeah. So, but I say they are trying to come up with it, but they've got to get it right. That's the thing. That's the issue. Yeah. Again, I thought they were gonna do it maybe when they put Bray Wyatt with Cena for a very short period of time anyway, with the little kid and whatnot.
Yeah. Was that when they did like the kids like coming out on the mic and they're singing?
Yeah.
The augmented voice, whatever. That was fucking stupid.
Yeah, it was stupid. But again, that was supposed to be your white meat babyface, your patriot babyface, against something different, something that, you don't quite understand. Yeah. Almost. Didn't work. They killed it, they buried it. We don't talk about it.
Until they bring it up on like a countdown episode or something on the network.
Yeah.
Or like they try and do like sometimes the Facebook page does a whole like, throwback thing. It's like,
it does, yeah.
They did the one the other day with the Championship Scramble. It's like, do you remember when Brian Kendrick was WWE champion?
Yeah.
And everyone flooded the comments with, well, no, he wasn't actually champion because it didn't count in the Championship Scramble until the final, the person who had the belt until the time ran out. Yeah. So he wasn't actually a champion.
Yeah, but I remember I remember watching that match and thinking, they're not going to do that. There's no way. You're not going to get this over.
The championship clusterfuck, as I like to call it.
Yeah. It wasn't a good idea, was it? But again, at no point did you actually think Brian Kendrick was coming out of that as a champ. No chance. Man, one thing I will say actually about John Cena was when he first came out on the screen and was the rapper and doing like, the heelish promos and stuff. Yeah. That I actually quite enjoyed.
That was entertaining.
It was.
But then it's when they turned him face and they did the whole like Carlito stabbing bit.
Oh, that was... Yeah, no.
Was that when we went to see SmackDown Live, maybe?
Yeah, I think it might have been.
And there was something I remember showing you on... Like, I think we watched it back together, and he has like a gauze thing. Yeah. Takes it off, and the camera angle, you can see there's nothing there.
Yeah. It literally shows nothing. Yeah. And it was just like... You could have at least drawn something on. Yeah. But, again, the whole stabbing thing was a stupid angle. There's no way... he got stabbed last night. And he's back a week later. Yeah. No. If somebody stabbed me in the kidney, I will not be back in a week.
Yeah.
Not a sniff. Not a chance. I'm not Wolverine.
And his name is John Cena!
But no, I say the rapping gimmick at the beginning was fun. It was different. And I know it was the vision of Stephanie McMahon, which is beyond me.
Well, it's because he was on the bus, wasn't he, or something, the tour bus,
Yeah.
and she found it quite entertaining.
Yeah. But again, that's how things start. It's just you could never have expected him to go the way he's gone.
Yeah.
And become that from what he was. But again, well, WWE was going through a bit shit time then, to be honest. You had like Nathan Jones,
or the new era, whatever it was called, sort of thing.
Yeah, it wasn't the Ruthless Aggression era, was it?
No, that sort of came later on. Yeah, well, he had like the post F era.
Yeah,
which was like the sort of Invasion era, sort of.
Yeah,
thing. That
yeah.
went on to becoming like.
The Invasion era wasn't bad. I didn't mind the Invasion stuff. That was quite good. I quite enjoyed it. I thought they could have dragged a lot more out of it.
It was like 2004 to like 2007.
Yeah,
roughly. You had like Evolution and stuff like that.
Yeah, which was around the time when I started to start watching.
Trips in the fucking purple tights or purple.
Oh yeah, the purple tights. You see, the main thing I remember about that era is they tried to put the belt on Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And I remember watching Randy Orton versus Chris Benoit in a steel cage for the title when Orton won. And I thought, the end to that match, when they shake hands and they do the respect thing, and I thought, they've managed to do this and get him over. They've actually managed to book the match in such a way where it was believable that he'd won and that he might get over. Next night on Raw killed it.
Yeah.
Just had Trips go over. And it was like,
no, I
Really?
do remember one of the one of the best moments I've ever experienced in wrestling was when you taped, I think it was Bad Blood 2004. The Shawn Michaels Triple H Hell in a Cell.
oh yeah,
And Triple H pissing blood lying on the ring apron.
yeah.
Camera pans right in, and he's holding the bottle. It's oh, fuck me! Which was then later cut out of every single DVD, video, and network release.
I have to go get that. Sorry.
Bunkell's nipped out to grab some washing. But yeah, that did happen. Both me and Bunkell saw it. It was very funny.
Hi guys, I'm Joey and I run UKWrestlingFigs.com, a website dedicated to wrestling action figures. Not only do I interview collectors but also superstars past and present, I also showcase art and photography as well as do reviews, unboxings, you name it, I do it. So if you're a fan of wrestling action figures, follow me on Twitter at WWEFigsUK, find me on YouTube and check out UKWrestlingFigs.com.
So yeah, we had the Bad Blood 2004 incident, which was just hilarious.
Again, I don't remember that actually being a good pay-per-view other than for that one moment in time.
That match itself was really good.
Yeah.
I remember at the time, I think we both sort of said like it was
definitely
a standout for like the past couple of years that had been.
Yeah, I'll say that that 2004 era, early 2000s really was a bit...
bit hit and miss.
Yeah, hit and miss. It's because they didn't really know what to... I feel as though they didn't know what to do with the title. And
well, the problem was
Trips was in big control.
2001, they killed the competition.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we have nothing to compete against now, so what do we do?
Yeah.
We've got all this talent.
Yeah, what do we do with it? But I mean, you think about back in the day when they closed all the territories and they started taking them all over, and it was like, your champions are our mid-card, was the way it worked. Yeah. So, Dusty Rhodes was the NWA champion. Dusty Rhodes' contract came up, and Vince goes and signs Dusty Rhodes just because he can. Doesn't really want him, doesn't think he's that great as a wrestler or anything like that. At least this is the way it was pitched. Or it's been pitched to, in what I've listened to, what I've read. Yeah. But he signed him because he could, and because he was taking over everything, so he can do what he wants. So
and puts him in a polka dot gimmick.
Yeah, puts him in a polka dot gimmick, and has him on the mid card.
Yeah,
and never really doing anything in particularly important. And then, Dusty Rhodes leaves, goes to WCW, becomes their champion and their booker. So that, you'd think back at that point in time when they've killed the competition in 2002. the logical thing to do is take that talent and make it your mid card, and that's kind of what they did. Other than with Booker T, Booker T was probably the only one that they kind of kept around.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they kind of relegated him a bit, but then they elevated him again. But that was part of the thing that about the Invasion era that kind of threw me a little bit was you ended up with guys who weren't in WCW switching to WCW, like Kurt Angle at one point. And it's like, I know he went and he was a mole and he set it all up and whatnot, which was great, but it didn't need it. You don't keep them separate. You know, for a little, I think it could have gone a little bit longer, but still, I enjoyed that run, that period of time with the Invasion. But you know, again, it's because I enjoyed the Stone Cold Steve Austin when he was doing the What, and like when Kurt Angle was coming in like with a guitar and a little cowboy hat on and still trying to sing with Stone Cold.
Well, it was I don't know when it was. It must have been when like Austin returned or something. It was for that one. There's like the gif of it when he's in like the office chair.
Oh yeah.
Slides down. I don't know how he stayed up on that chair. All the way down the ramp.
Yeah.
So that was brilliant.
Yeah. But no, I enjoyed that period in time. But you know, I think
it's like though. I think you said to me at one point, going back to like the Attitude Era, listening to the Attitude Era podcast.
Yeah,
and you were like, half of these pay-per-views weren't really that good.
Yeah, no. Well, no, they weren't. But all you need is like the odd standout. Like you think the Attitude Era, the first things you think, Foley off the cell.
Yeah.
You think of Rock Austin, and what probably I would say Austin Vince. Yeah, but I was thinking like actual matches that like stand out to you, because the next one I was going to go with was you either think Armageddon Hell in a Cell with 6 men, just because it's the only time they've done it, or Foley and Triple H in the street fight. You know, and I think there are that many standout moments in the Attitude Era, which is why everybody looks upon it so fondly. TLC 1. Again, these great matches that there are many more in the Attitude Era, but there are standout matches. You think Attitude Era, you think these matches, you think of the Hogan Era. I can't name anything other than Hogan Warrior at Mania 6. Yeah. I can't think of anything else that remotely is, you know, looked upon as fondly. I think of that era in the Invasion. Again, I can't think of those standout matches. The only thing I can think of is the pay-per-view that was called Invasion when Team WCW went over.
The problem I partially think is like you have these, like when WCW do like the best of, WWE even does like the best of DVDs and stuff, and they only show those bits.
Yeah.
So that people that if you like you'd never watched wrestling before, I'm going to watch this best of the Attitude Era, see what the Attitude Era is all about, and you see the constant same bits over and over again of like the Rock and the Bear Truck.
Yeah.
What? Or like the Take a Mankind and the Cell match. And you see the same, like they just show you the same stuff over and over again. But then like there could be like a episode of Raw, like a standout Triple H Rock match or something, but you don't hear about it.
No. But again, that like you say, that's where a lot of the looking back, you miss stuff. Like if you don't watch nobody has time to go back. Watch all the Raws and all the pay-per-views. And
I remember having this discussion in college.
Yeah. So you know, you don't have time to go and watch all of it, to watch all the shows, to know exactly what's going on and who jobs to who each week, and keep a record of it. I think there is a record you can find online of how many wins and losses people have.
More than likely, yeah.
But it's you have to pick what how you're going to do it. If you want to just go back and watch great matches, go back and watch great matches. There are great matches in every period, but the ones that get spoken about are in the Attitude Era. You don't hear anything about great matches in the Ruthless Aggression Era. You don't hear about any great John Cena matches. I can't name one off the top of my head.
There's one coming to mind that you've said that. It was on an episode of Raw, the Shawn Michaels Cena.
Oh, yeah. But it's on an episode of Raw, so nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
The Rock and Cena one was alright.
Yeah.
Because Cena did the job. Yeah. That was alright.
Cena Miz.
No, but, right. Cena Miz, right? You laugh at that. I like Cena Miz, but only because the Miz went over. And I know it was in a screw away, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I prefer that than watching Cena run around with the title again.
Yeah.
And then Miz did the job every single week. Every single week. And it just came down to the pay-per-view and then he went over. I mean, the most entertaining thing to me about that era, obviously, I love the Miz, but Michael Cole on commentary. I thought it was amazing. Undefeated at WrestleMania. Amazing. Heel Michael Cole on NXT season 3. Was it season 3, the old Diva one, or season 4, whatever it was? It was so shit.
Mate, they were doing like season 5 or something that went on for like weeks and weeks and weeks.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember you saying.
Yeah.
Because you even started little Bunkell's rants, reviews and opinions. Like, we're on week 35 of like, season 5 of the NXT search, whatever.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, no, that was fucking shit. Because they didn't even wrestle matches. They did, like... fucking, you know, who can throw the ball the furthest and stuff like that. Who can jump over the many boxes. But I thought Michael Cole and commentary during that time was brilliant. Sat there like, all the divas are trying to talk and do, like, well, divas, fake divas. The divas who aren't even divas are trying to, like, become divas. Doing these, like, talking as wrestling and stuff.
Go on, I've just got to answer this phone call.
No worries. And Michael Cole's there with a gonging them to get him off the show. Yeah? Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. And CM Punk then on commentary. You know, I'm watching NXT how I do every week. You know, sat there in shirt and pants. Just his wrestling gear with a jacket on. Brilliant. But again, not looked upon too family. By most people, and it's kind of give it a bit of a pause until Coxy comes back. Yeah, I can't even ran out of stuff to say, so you have to cut that bit.
That's fine.
Or at least a bit of that bit. I was just recounting when CM Punk was on commentary talking about how he's watching NXT how he does every week.
Was that when he had the Triple H jacket?
Yeah, he had the jacket on and pants.
Didn't it was when Triple H gave him, can I wear your jacket? Yeah, okay. That was brilliant.
But yeah, like, again, I was just saying that era isn't looked upon too fondly, especially when it comes down to matches. You know, you can't name matches that were great, stand out. Yeah, until you get to then, you talked about a couple of the a couple of the Undertaker matches with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, great matches are, at least in those days, were few and far between. And I can't really tell you why they were so few and far between.
Yeah.
But I suppose to kind of bring like this opinions on wrestling in general towards like a close down is Attitude Era is what you should watch. All the hype matches are not what the Attitude Era was. There is a lot of stuff that didn't work. There's a fair amount of stuff that did. But wrestling now isn't like wrestling then. And it's changed. But that's the era that's looked upon so highly. So that's why I'd suggest go and watch these matches, but don't expect everything to be that way. Don't watch TLC 1, which is, 20 odd minutes of back and forth between 3 of the greatest tag teams in history.
Yeah.
And think every single tag team match is going to be like that. Or think every single match is going to look like that, because it's not. The Mick Foley falling off in the Hell in a Cell, every match is not like that. Some people can't watch that because it is a horrible bump to take.
It is.
It's scary,
Yeah.
to be honest, because he looks like he's going to miss.
Yeah.
You worry. But, I say, go in with your expectations in the right place. You know, that's... I can't describe it any better than that. You know, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think so.
There were great highs. There were the lowest lows. Don't expect everything to be a high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like don't expect everything to be a low. There's a lot of...
I think it's needed in a way, though, because it's sort of like, if you say you'd never watched it before, and I say, right, you're going to watch the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Of WWF at the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you watch like a really high episode one week,
yeah,
the following week you're expecting that episode to top that one,
yeah,
and so on and so on and so on, like a fucking ladder. And it's getting to this point where you're like, well, how can my expectations be improved now? It's got to smash my expectations. I don't think it can do.
No.
And then you have these low points that bring you down again.
Yeah, it's not possible to be better every week, because there are points where you get to something you can't see as better. WrestleMania 17 is the peak. Yeah, I think it was the peak money-wise as well, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, from what I've read. It was the pinnacle of the Attitude Era for sure. I think it was the pinnacle of wrestling so far, in terms of money and draw and exposure for sure. But everything you watch isn't going to be WrestleMania 17. Everything you watch isn't going to be WrestleMania 18. You're not going to have, the wrestling's past versus wrestling's current.
Yeah.
You're not going to have, like, even now you talk about watching wrestling's past versus wrestling's current, and you have The Rock versus Cena. Didn't do as well as Hogan and Rock, but it was never going to. Yeah, because wrestling isn't viewed the same way. It's not viewed by the same people. A lot of people who watched wrestling back then in WrestleMania 18, like you and me, don't watch anymore. Yeah, because it's changed and it's not suitable to our palate, almost, for lack of a better description.
There's that, but then the problem is as well, being like when you said before about William Regal and the British style. Yeah, like Britain currently is a fucking hotbed.
Oh
for
yeah,
wrestling.
Absolutely.
You have so many different companies and styles that if you're willing to travel, you can see any style you want.
Yeah,
essentially.
Well, I mean, that's what you were saying before when you were talking about the amount of wrestling that's out there these days.
Yeah.
You can afford to pick and choose what you want to watch. Mm-hmm. Like I said then, give PCW a watch. Everything I remember of PCW was great matches. Mm-hmm. But that might not be what you want to see. Yeah. If you just want comedy wrestling, I'm pretty confident Chikara is your way to go. Yeah,
but Chikara does wrestling. They had a brilliant world sport style rules. Which is Johnny Kidd and Mike Quackenbush. Right. But there's like they've tried it before in other companies, and it's sort of the crowd sort of like when you're having a chat with your mate or whatever, and you're getting beers in, but the crowd was silent. Right. You're watching it. Reversal.
It's like watching it in Japan.
Yeah, counter after counter, and the odd bit of applause like it should be. And that made it. But Chikara was one of the few events recently where I've come away and I've like, that was fucking brilliant. If I could watch Chikara every week, I would do. Right. That sort of thing. It was because it was just so good. So I was taught that a few of them were out. You could get pictures of them, you could talk to them, stuff like that. Right. It's just seeing Johnny Kidd, like one of the British greats, doing this technical style that sort of not so much disappeared. There's still the guys like Noam Dar and Zack Sabre Jr. who do it, but it's not often you see a world sport rules with the rounds and stuff. Yeah, and especially if you like stuff like Kurt Angle, who sort of probably picked up bits from this. Yeah, you probably love. I'll have to show you it at some point.
Definitely. I mean, again, this is where I struggle to be into wrestling nowadays. Because the style I like to watch doesn't really exist. It's not on the main. It's not like mainstream. Almost.
Is it sort of like is it just the amateur catch style, or is it strong style you like?
Really? I like a bit. It's
because I can put you in the right direction.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. See, strong style again. I like strong style. My most recent exposure to that was Cesaro and Ligero.
Yeah,
Fuck Ligero.
Yanks, rats, and fuck the Garo. There we go. Shout out to Madman Manson.
But, you know, that was my most recent exposure to Strong Style, and I fucking loved that match.
Yeah.
I think it's on YouTube for free,
is for
actually.
free,
You can watch it on the PCW YouTube channel.
I'll post a link in the description on the pod.
Another shout out there. But that match was brilliant. And again, I know it's not just... There was a lot of the mat-based stuff that I like, and then it's almost more of a real style to me. I hate saying that, because I don't mean that every other style is a figment of your imagination. I mean...
Don't use the F word.
What, figment?
No, the other F word. The F word.
What I mean by it's like real is somebody wouldn't let you suplex them.
Yeah.
And you'd have to force them over. You'd have to generate that power of your hips with, you know...
Well, it's the... Because I went to... last December, I went to a Progress show.
Oh, right.
And Progress is Strong Style.
Right.
So it is sort of genuine... You see like knees to the face and stuff, and you hear... I know it's like sort of... Well, I'm going to give you an insight into the business now, but slapping the thigh.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear the crack, and then you see like the knee, how it smacks in the face or comes so like The Rock says, I can hit someone within like a whisper of me actually touching them. I can make it look that genuine. Or Austin's like, well, I don't work hard, I work snug.
Yeah.
I might throw a few real punches in there, but I call it working snug.
Yeah.
Sip of coffee for the working man. Well, I'm going to get Ted on Skype. How you doing, Ted? But no, it's like Strong Style. But yeah, well, for Strong Style, you can watch Progress, you can watch New Japan.
Yeah.
If you want like see American wrestlers and British wrestlers, you can watch PCW. If you want indie style, you can watch Future Shock. If you want a bit more of an adult style, you got ICW.
Right. Like I said, there's something out there for everybody, and that's kind of the point of wrestling.
Yeah.
Or at least the way it's supposed to be is every match should be different enough that you're interested in every one.
Yeah.
Again, I probably don't watch enough of the mainstream product or nowadays to see that they are all different. I don't believe they are, because I think you look at all the wrestlers who are being pushed and being brought up, and they've all come from the same background, that same indie style, indie background, and they wrestle indie matches. Yeah, and you think about Daniel Bryan when he was champ, every match was almost the same.
Yeah,
and it's great for a while, but it's very kicky, very punchy, and a lot of running the ropes.
Yeah.
And that isn't for me. So I'll definitely check out that World of Sport match.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely have to look.
I'll bring it round at some point.
Oh, awesome. Probably do it for the next one.
Hopefully. But yeah, so we'll start sort of wrapping up. I've got a few. I've not wrote them down, but I just thought it'd be a nice as an introduction for you to people.
Yeah.
It's just to go over like some of your, like if I said like, not like a countdown as such, but like if I said favourite wrestler.
Kurt Angle.
Okay, so it's going to be like that sort of, like we'll go with like favourites and sort of like for least favourite stuff like that. We'll do
All right,
a few, sort of get you.
Yeah, that's fine.
So your favourite wrestler is Kurt Angle, least favourite wrestler.
Least favourite wrestler.
I know it's a tough one, but it's...
That is a really tough one, actually, because there is a fair few that I really dislike.
Right, who have you hated seeing the most? Who's made you want to switch off?
Batista made me switch off.
So, go with
Batista. Just because, again, I didn't believe anything the man did. And, it's quick. I don't like squash matches. I don't enjoy them.
Yeah.
And that man got carried through a main event at WrestleMania by Triple H, and Triple H, say what you want about him, that man carried that main event, and it was, he got a semi-good match out of a very, very poorly talented wrestler. He made me switch off. It just didn't have it. Edge. I never fan. Never was. Never understood why he got the push that he did. Didn't have the look for me. Didn't look like a strong wrestler. Didn't look like he was even technically great. And I hate the spear. I don't. There's only one spear that I like, and that's Rhino's, because it looks different.
Yeah,
it just looks different. And
I'll talk about Edge on the next episode.
Yeah,
I do have an opinion of Edge.
Yeah, well, again, that's as an introduction. That's definitely something we can discuss, because there's a massive mixed opinion on him. I feel Big Show, fuck that guy. The power of the punch. In fact, I tell you what, the two worst moments I've ever seen in wrestling, I think, come from the Big Show. Right? There's the crying when he punches Dusty Rhodes, right? On Raw, the man's crying and yet still has to power up his punch. You have to power up your punch to knock out an old man. Yeah. What was seriously? Right, worst. That was that, and seeing his arse in a thong for the sumo match with an actual sumo wrestler. Awful. Jobbing to Floyd Mayweather. Come on, man. Yeah, how's this guy got a job? Yeah.
Again, he's a yes man.
Oh, he is a yes man, but come on. Literally the worst moment in wrestling history. As you're crying to punch an old man, a fat old man.
The fact he does it, he goes, Dusty, I'm sorry. Charges it up. But then if you watch Wrestlemania, there's the Cena talks too much segment.
Right.
And it's him and Kane stood there, and Kane has to turn away from him to then give him the choke slam. Or to get his hand around his throat. So Kane has to charge up the choke slam. Fuck off.
Fuck charging moves. Fuck that shit. Roman Reigns does it with the Superman punch.
Yeah.
Just a little shotgun thing. Stupid. So stupid. Makes you look a total
Roman Reigns, you do the most amazing thing The Rock has ever seen.
But yeah, there you go. There you go. That's definitely Big Show's number one.
One that sort of covers any company you want here. Favourite angle?
Ooh. Well, by angle you mean storyline?
Storyline, yeah.
Oh, The Rock and Austin from WrestleMania 17.
17.
If you want to go away from that, it's just that I think the build to that and everything about that was perfect. And I made that clear throughout the podcast.
So, then again, angle that's made you want to switch off, or just thought this is bullshit sort of thing, like.
Let's see. The
one will do.
The one will do. Do you just want one? I'll go with one because we're supposed to be cutting this short, aren't we? One is Wade Barrett beating John Cena. That was great, and then straight away them fucking it up. Pretty much
so Cena joining Nexus.
Cena joining Nexus. They're just killing the Nexus. Everything to do with when Ziggler lost the title to, was it Del Rio because he was concussed?
Yeah.
You know, won the title a week later, making him job. That pissed me off. But yeah. Spirit Squad. In general.
Favourite pay-per-view?
WrestleMania 17. Yeah.
You covered why, so.
Yeah.
Have I asked your favourite match?
Yeah, I haven't asked favourite match, but it's The Rock and Austin from WrestleMania 17.
Do you see the pattern where they're going from? Favourite company of all time?
Company?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Because I have watched a lot of different companies. Not quite as often as I would like.
Because obviously you have everyone had access to WWE somehow, whether it's a friend or someone.
To be fair, it's probably actual company in terms of what I've seen, keeping that quality match up there.
Something even if it was like an indie company, you was if that was on TV, I'd watch that every week. I'd go out of my way to watch it.
Preston City Wrestling.
PCW.
I'd go out of my way to watch it. I would. I'll be fair. I haven't been to any to the shows recently, mainly due to obviously moving, work commitments, stuff like that. But every show that I went to, I enjoyed, and every show that I went to, I came out, impressed. With. So, yeah, that probably is PCW. WWE. There's so much content there, and there's so much out there that isn't good. You dilute what is great. Quite a bit. Another favourite angle, MMA Jeff Jarrett. That was so cool. That was so funny.
Oh, God.
That's definitely up there. MMA Jeff Jarrett.
I was going to say, following on from that, the one I was trying to think of then, which I jumped into like favourite company, was your favourite funniest moment.
Funniest moment? Ooh.
I know there's been several over the years, but I just want to gauge an opinion.
Funniest moment?
It doesn't have to be. It can be like, because I know, like, for me, one of the funniest things ever is like Brendan Burns telling the Great Khali story.
Oh, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. My favourite moment, funniest moment even.
Whether it's a promo, whether it was a match.
Most of the Rock's promos back in the day, they were brilliant. And specifically enjoyed the one before the 6-man Hell in a Cell at Armageddon, where he did impressions of all the guys who were in the match. That was excellent. Anything where Michael Cole was just slating the show, I thought that was great. I thought the Michael Cole character was hilariously funny. When it went over Jerry Lawler at WrestleMania, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But yeah, it's really hard to pick like just one like really funny moment because you get so much coming into your head.
But what funniest moments stand out to you the most, if any of them?
Funniest
there
moments
must be one that stands out to you the most, at least, or two of them, something like that.
Kurt Angle doing the milk.
Yeah.
With the truck, and I know it was a straight rip from the Stone Cold Steve Austin with a beer, but really enjoyed that. Kevin Nash on commentary.
Oh, fuck, I forgot.
Kevin Nash on commentary. Goldberg, a man who cannot touch another man. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That whole show. It's like there's like a 20-minute clip of it on YouTube just of his commentary throughout that show. Excellent.
Yeah. So they put me on commentary to try and recoup some of those funds. Echoing everything the Old Glory.
Yeah, Old Glory needs you up.
But there was a couple of bits just reminded me of. I don't know why it just came to my head then. It was when there was like Angle and Lesnar were like random friends.
Oh yeah.
And there was a bit like Lesnar was like, "Why do you always drink milk?" And he's like, "Milk is good for you."
Yeah.
And somehow some woman ends up like getting covered in milk.
Yeah. No, that's Kevin Nash on commentary.
One of the other bits that stands out recently was Lesnar and the cage with Triple H. He's like, "That's my manager."
Oh yeah, that was great when Hellman sold himself and got done.
There was that, and the what was the other one? It's gone. It wasn't with Lesnar. It was something else. It might come back to me.
It will, I'm sure.
But then there was the other bit. I remember I think I was stood in the train station with you once after like PCW with you and David.
Oh yeah.
It might have been at the actual show, and it was when Jeff Hardy got done for drugs.
Oh.
And I was like, I've got a new rendition of his theme. I started singing about like it was like you, David, and like two other random guys just pissing themselves laughing.
Yeah. That was good. Fucking Jeff Hardy.
What was the other bit? Yeah, there was Lesnar and that's my manager.
Yeah.
And there was another bit that had me laughing as well recently. I can't remember what it was.
I remember, I think it was the first ever live show we went to, and there was a dark appearance of The Undertaker. So it was a film show, and The Undertaker showed up. Heidenreich came out and cut a promo.
Yeah.
And then The Undertaker showed up, but he wasn't supposed to be there. And Paul Heyman was Heidenreich's manager at the time. Yeah. And Heyman got laid out but sold it so much Heidenreich had to drag him by his foot up the ramp and got to the top and was pissing himself because Heyman was still selling it. He was out, like, acting like he was out cold, and he had to drag him the whole way by his foot. Brilliant. That's selling, though. Absolutely brilliant, because there's just this dude pissing himself laughing at what's supposed to be a really serious angle, and like, you know, they cut that from from TV.
There was another bit like from the past like year or so that was funny. It's gone from my mind, but it was. I remember there was the on that funniest moments DVD I've got. There's like The Rock doing Billy Gunn.
Oh yeah.
Dear God, my name is Billy.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
But yeah, so just to come in closing, depending on what you want to see. There's in wrestling, there's something for everyone. Yeah.
I take it we're just going to do pay-per-views in like storylines.
It depends what happens, really.
All right. Any requested matches for us to watch? Send them in.
Yeah, if you have a YouTube,
LoopTube?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what you do. I don't want to know what you do.
I had a YouTube mate that it still wrote me down on YouTube at one point. And my brother's at the door.
Oh, right, fair enough.
I'll pause it if you want. But yeah, where were we?
We're just wrapping it up and saying that if you've got any matches you want us to watch and review, send them in. I reckon what we should do is watch WrestleMania 17, review it, WrestleMania 18, review it, and decide what's... Because that's our two favourite pay-per-views.
Yeah, we can do that. Like an alternate commentary.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea.
Yeah, we can do that. If you have a YouTube link for any matches, preferably, or Daily Motion, anything like that, please send them to us. We can watch them and review them, something like that.
Yeah.
Bunkell's homework is Ricochet and Will Ospreay, and then the Johnny Kidd, Mike Quackenbush.
Sounds like a plan.
Rules. So yeah, that's everything. If you want to email us, email lostartpodcasting@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Lost Art Podcast. Facebook, Lost Art Podcasting. Instagram, Lost Art Podcasting, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't know. Find us on Stitcher, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, probably elsewhere. Bunkell's phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything you want to add, Bunkell?
No. Mm-hmm. I've been King Bunkell.
You've been King Bunkell? That's my line.
You can tell I listen.
It's my fucking show. It's Raw! No, it's not. Hopefully I get sued. But yeah, for the lost art of wrestling, can we call it that?
Yeah, why not?
We'll probably get sued by Colt Cabana or something. But
well, we'll see.
We will indeed. So yeah, for Lost Art of Podcasting, he's been King Bunkell.
Yeah.
Weighing in at a weight.
Like 175.
Cruiserweight!
Yeah, it is, yeah. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm closer to 200 now. I don't know. Heavy.
Is that wedding weight?
90 odd kilos. There you go.
Yeah. I've been Coxy. He's been Bunkell. And you've been listening, hopefully. I hope. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Mike Quackenbush, and I make professional wrestling. Thank you. I'm the upside-down guy in this photo. It was snapped in the last match that I had, and although you will not see me in the ring anymore, I'm still involved in the training of aspiring pros, and I work with the wonderful bunch of creative types you were so kind to name-drop. Chikara. Outstanding. Thank you. I'm passionate about professional wrestling. I think pro wrestling is the most misunderstood form of entertainment on the planet. And I also believe it's the most fascinating and wonderful kind of performance art you could ever hope to experience. So why? Why is professional wrestling so misunderstood? Why is there such a stigma associated with being a pro wrestling fan? I think it is because for years, wrestling was stuck in this closeted cycle of self-loathing because we are not legitimate sport. I'm sorry, Adam. We're not. But we masquerade as that in the same way that the Harlem Globetrotters masquerade as competitive basketball. Pro wrestling is performance art. And the flavor of wrestling I like best is akin to a comic book come to life. It is colorful costumes. It is superhuman feats of strength and agility. It's heroes and villains. It's comedy and tragedy and larger-than-life characters. The exact tropes that hooked me on the Justice League and the X-Men are what attract me to what happens in the ring. But for too long, the pervading belief in professional wrestling is that we could not come clean, that we could not be frank with our audience about what we are. And maybe this was born out of a need to project a tough guy image, or maybe this was born out of a desire to feel like we belonged to a secret society that had access to some sort of insider information. Or maybe it is because so many of us cannot bear the sound of the word fake. The risks we take to entertain our fans, the sacrifices that we make along the way, the passion that we pour into this pursuit of ours, all of that is very, very real. And it cuts like the worst kind of insult if someone were to summarize your risks and your sacrifices and your passions with the word fake. What's important to understand is that pro wrestling fans do not enjoy what we make because, well, they must not get it, right? They don't understand what it is. They think it's legitimate. No. Just like when you crack open a Harry Potter novel, or you tune into Game of Thrones, or when you buy a ticket to the newest Marvel movie, you check your disbelief at the door, and you expect that in exchange for this, you'll be provided with an escapist experience. That's the magic of it. And I know this all too well, because having been seduced by that magic at a young age, I have spent the balance of my life trying to make it and share it with others. Unlike any movie, TV show, any novel or comic book, pro wrestling is a uniquely dynamic experience. No movie will respond to your cheers or jeers. A novel will not high-five you should you pass by. A television show is a static experience projected onto a 2D screen. But a professional wrestler may land in your lap if you happen to be seated in the front row. We are just now finally beginning to open up about what we are. And this, at last, gives us license to explore our form's potential. Because for too long, wrestling has been content only to explore what it can be through the lens of legitimate sport. Well, what is professional wrestling through the lens of science fiction? Or through the lens of a murder mystery? What is pro wrestling through the lens of ballet? The best kind of pro wrestling aspires to take you on an emotional journey, to thrill you when an underdog triumphs, to resonate with you deeply when one tag team partner betrays another. It engages you in the chase for glory, and it drags you through the valley of defeat, and it even grants you access to that most intimate of moments when someone's lifelong dream is fulfilled. Our audience really experiences these emotional highs and lows with us, and the restorative catharsis our performance generates is shared between the people that craft it and the fans that go on the journey with us. My friends, there's nothing fake about that.